Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We've been off for a couple weeks, but we are back and excited to be back. And hopefully you are just as excited to see us. We are going to go ahead and pick up here pretty quickly, right where we left off at the end of the last episode. And we will make sure to give a quick recap as well. But before that, just some general news and updates. Again, if you haven't heard our spiel about this either the last couple streams or last year when this happened, pretty soon in our area, we are having an amazing gaming convention called RageCon. It's in Northern Nevada. It's in Reno, and it's a board game expo. We were there last year as Mythical Family, and we had a great time. We ran a bunch of games, played in a bunch of games, had an amazing, I guess we call Munchausen a panel. Well, it was a performance.
Yeah, it was a performative game.
It was a performative game, and it was amazing, and you can go see all of that stuff. Well, you can see Munchausen specifically on our YouTube channel. But RageCon is rolling around again, and it is June 30th to July 2nd at the Nuggets Casino Resort in Sparks, Nevada, which is pretty much Reno.
Just hope anyone who lives in Sparks that.
Yes, and I'm sure, hopefully nobody that lives in Sparks is watching this, but if you are, sorry. But anyway, if you happen to be in the Northern Nevada area, if you're in Nevada, if you're, somewhere in one of the neighboring states, California, etc., or you just want to travel in general to a really awesome board game TTRPG convention, look it up. It's ragecon.com. It's 3 days of gaming. It is absolutely amazing. It's been growing every single year. A bunch of us are signed up to run games this year. So if you get a ticket now, you can actually already sign up for games in advance, and you could sign up at one of our tables. Or you could even run your own games. And that's a great way to get a ticket. If you look into the details on the website, if you do up to 8 hours, I think it's 8 hours or a little bit more, you can get your ticket for free. So if that sounds good to you, please come hang out with us. Some friends of Mythical Family will be there with us this year, and we are beyond excited. Some of our friends have a amazing channel and group called Andromeda Adventures. Their mainstream right now is Endara: The Second Age, and most of them, a lot of them, will be flying out to Reno to join us for RageCon this year. So not only will they probably get to play in some games there with us, some of them have talked about maybe running games for the community as well, but we will have them as guests, some of them on guests, on Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern that Sunday, most likely. Or we'll be running a one-shot with them or something, so they get to actually come to the studio and sit down and play with us and everything. So if you haven't heard of them or checked them out yet, Andromeda Adventures, look them up on Twitch, YouTube, all your standard socials. They have an amazing Discord server, as do we. And if you haven't joined our Discord server yet, please make sure to look at our socials here in Twitch and check them all out, but especially hop on our Discord and say hi to all of us nerds and share some fun memes and jokes and just nerd out in general. But that's the end of my RageCon spiel for now. Ragecon.com. Go check it out if you have the chance, and check out Andromeda Adventures. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and jump back into our story tonight. It's been a little bit since we played, so you'll have to forgive us for probably taking a bit to get back into things. I know that I am not thinking my normal DM self right now, but then again, if you've watched Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern, I never really have smooth intros, so that's just kind of my thing at this point. Especially last RageCon. If you want to go look that clip up, which is our most popular clip. But we left off last time. Say what?
I think it's second most.
Second most? What's the most popular clip? That's terrifying.
One of Sonny's. Which one?
Oh, is it the I'm not sorry for fucking your father. Yep, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that went out of my memory.
Yeah, I wonder why it went out of your memory. But yeah, so we left off last time on Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern in the city of Orishire. The party has been there for some time at this point and has had quite a stay in the city, from saving the town from an evil hag that was secretly stealing people's dreams from a new bakery, to blowing up a giant thunder pad outside of the city and covering the city in all sorts of debris and, foiling that plan, but causing a lot of damage in the meantime, to carrying out an assassination attempt, on a nearby city. I haven't even covered all of it. It's been a very eventful time for them in Orishire, but the time has finally come for them to leave Orishire, or so they think, and they have The city, one of the ways that they thank them for all they have done is given them an amazing, magically enchanted ship. And last night was kind of a go out on the town and relax and celebrate and get ready to leave in the morning. So two of our party members went out and had some drinks and kind of did some bar hopping and had really interesting luck running into other member of their party, and also one of their favorite NPCs who was out on a date, just trying to have a date. Thought she was going to get attacked for a little while, but ends up she was actually hustling people out of their money with arm wrestling.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do. Vander went on a date with a noble. A noble went on a date. So, yes, there was a very tabloid-worthy date of a prince and she's not a princess, she's a noble, but still tabloid headlines around the world now, you two. So, and someone had a sick stomach last time and is sleeping on the ship.
Sure. Yeah.
Because she wasn't here. But we're going to go ahead and jump in the next day in the morning. So you've all had a night full of different kinds of adventures. You two said that you eventually made it back. Sonny and Kree made it back to the Guards' Keep in Orishire and made their way to the ship, your unnamed ship as of yet, and tucked into the new quarters that you all claimed the day before. Even though they are sparsely furnished, still has a bed. You guys were able to sleep, and hopefully you don't have too much of a hangover afterwards. And actually, for that, both of you roll a con check really quick, please. Oh, there's the face that I love to see from Kree.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay. Well, Sonny knows how to handle her alcohol because she's a fish shark. But
Divide that by 10, I got 2.
okay, well then yes, Kree, you wake up with a throbbing hangover, and it feels... You're sitting in dock on a very still bay, but you still feel like the ship is rocking and moving all about, and you're just like, oh, really, do I want to be back? Do I want to be back out at sea, especially right now? So it takes you a little bit to find your sea legs, even in dock, as you wake up from the night before. But otherwise, you are fine, of course. No worse not too much worse from where, from the state that you were in last night. Vander. Motel 6, no. Sorry, joke from before stream. So, you and Sklea ended up spending, I can talk, most of last night at that wonderful little coffee shop that you found, run by the gnomes in the city of Orishire, hidden behind multiple layers and landmarks of Thieves' Cant. And you just sat there for hours and hours in the evening talking about all sorts of things, and especially the fact that you had just found the tea from that coffee shop that seems to have been produced by somebody related to your master, because the tea bag had the symbol of your master on it. So I assume you're still clutching that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, very, very attached to that. We're going to pick up a couple hours into the morning. You and Skalea returned in the early hours, and there was no avoiding it because you stayed out so long talking and neither of you probably really cared, but you started your morning at the keep, both of you walking into the keep in the same outfits that you were wearing the night before. She switched back into the spelled kind of version of the very beautiful sequined dress that she had when she walked out originally, so everybody thinks it's the same outfit that she left in. And she has her heels in her hand and she's walking in barefoot next to you. And the diplomats are all there because it's the day where they're all departing and stuff. So as you two are just, talking and having a great time and like bags under your eyes and really tired and stuff. And obviously you've had a great time and you're just enjoying each other's company. And as you walk through the gates, you hear the guards and the diplomats go quiet and it's dead silent in the keep. She doesn't bat an eye and just keeps walking with you and talking, even if you get weirded out by it, kind of thing. And you can tell there's just hundreds of pairs of eyes just following you, with a couple people taking
Oh, God.
notes. So, how much would that impact Vander?
That'd probably make him a little nervous, but he would follow her cue. Just
Okay.
try and ignore it.
Yeah, and keep talking. So she'd ham it up and actually start like laughing louder, like that ha ha ha, he told a funny joke kind of thing, and would like loop her arm through his and lean on him a bit and like sell it so he wasn't feeling awkward, and she was being so ridiculous they were looking at her mostly. So, but you guys make it through. She ends up saying goodbye to you and running back up the stairs into the keep because she has to deal with the diplomats as well, / talk to Aaron and all of her men about what her plans are. So you're left to your own devices at the bottom of the stairs of the Orshire Guard Keep. Everybody quickly resumes getting ready and leaving, and you see a lot of diplomats are loading up onto carriages and some onto horses. One rather old human-looking man steps out of his quarters with all of his luggage and teleports on the spot somehow, and just must be powerful. And that is when you realize that you don't see any of your companions nearby and don't know where they are right now. So we're going to start with you. What do you do now that you're back in the keep from your date last night?
He's gonna go bad.
He's gonna go. So are you gonna go? Are you gonna go to the ship, or are you gonna go to the diplomatic quarters where everybody, like the swarm of people, is right now?
Assuming that everyone that we're planning to leave today on the ship can probably go to the ship.
Okay. All right. Well, then we will say that Vander is walking up to be named ship right as all of you are waking up and coming on board. So you might still be in your quarters. Would you get up, or what are you doing?
Oh, I'm scrambling.
Scrambling?
Mhm.
Why are you scrambling?
Cass.
Cass is gonna come out completely disheveled in like the shirt that you had seen her in last, with like ever so slightly crooked. One boot is on, and just red eyes, puffy, pale. Yes, Cream.
Oh my god. Are we dying? What is going on out there?
What happened last night?
I drank a lot and my head is killing me. And I may have drank some salt water to make it better, but didn't make it better.
No.
Oh god.
Okay, go to the side of the ship and just like look at the waves and let it all come out.
Shit.
You just need it out of your system. I am going to make breakfast because Vander is not up yet or whatever. And it's going to be greasy and it's going to have carbs and you will be happy.
Very much.
Okay.
Okay, goodbye.
Yeah. And back of the ship.
Okay.
Away from the wind.
Yeah, I'll hobble over to the back of the ship.
All right. You hobble over to the back of the ship, and it's the, standard kind of bay in Orishire that you're quite used to at this point, with ships gently sailing in and out. But, you have a bit of privacy on there until you see Vander walking down the dock in the distance as you're standing up there.
Hold on. Vander's home!
Cass is downstairs, just like the fresh food that we still have.
I was gonna say, I think Sonny might have already been in the galley taking inventory.
Okay, that works.
Hard work.
I'm just gonna bypass you, pick up the bacon and the bread, and start making.
Good morning. What's going on?
Kree's hungover.
Oh, yeah, I guess he's
Wait,
not so used to it.
I take it you are not hungover.
I feel fine.
That is good. That is actually not surprising. Yes, Vander's home. Did Vander not come home last night?
Oh, yeah, he was, out with Miss Selena.
Alright.
You thought that was going well?
That's good.
I'm patting you back. Holding back your hair.
See you, Vander.
You do.
I'm sorry that we crashed your date last night.
No, you didn't.
Okay,
Are you feeling okay?
I'll be fine.
When you're done here, I'll make you some tea if you want to help you settle your stomach.
And just tears down the face, just everything that's just happened in the past 5 minutes.
Pull out a little rag and hand it to you.
What a good boy.
Hold on, I'm gonna go downstairs. Okay.
I'll follow you.
Go.
So you're just gonna go down and like head straight to bed, kind of thing?
He'll do what he did, what he promised. Make a pot of tea that would help settle hangover stuff, and set it in the kitchen for you two to enjoy. And
Well, so yeah, you'd walk downstairs and you'd encounter these two in the kitchen
Oh.
first, so because they're both there right now, so that galley just got cramped, and you get to walk in. And would you describe what Vander's wearing right now? Because Vander's not wearing normal Vander outfit, because remember on the date,
yeah,
altered.
he's wearing the outfit he borrowed from Matilda,
Mhm.
all fancy and stuff.
Oh, Vander, hi.
Hi.
You were out late.
Yeah. Had a really good night.
You look very
Send over, send over.
A little bit travel, but
it's hot, like, yeah.
how are you feeling?
Okay.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Just yeah, okay.
I'm gonna make some tea for all three of you. Ease your stomach before I go to bed.
Probably a good plan. I'm going to check in with the diplomats real fast. Have to hand over those notes to, Kree's friend. Otherwise, don't think there's much else we need to do before we set sail this morning.
Just gotta wait for she wants to come.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
She has business in our destination.
Oh.
And eight already.
but we should be using the upper cabin. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Sonic's throwing so much shade, and Vander's like, huh? Well, not shade, but yeah, Sonny's implying things, and Vander's like,
Slayer's entourage be attending.
I'm not sure. That's gonna be cramped. I imagine maybe at least one of them.
We'll figure it out.
Alright, I'm gonna make the tea. Pretty tired.
Good idea. Sure.
all right. So you go make some tea in the galley. Standard Vander tea of just amazingness.
Specifically to help no, so-
All right, so something herbal then.
oh yes.
Okay, so yeah, you can whip up one of your many different practiced herbal teas. And are you taking it up to Kree, or are you giving it to everybody, kind of leaving it there?
He'll set out 2 cups for these two, and then he'll personally take one to three.
Okay, perfect. And then you head to bed? All right. Well, you all have been teed by the tea master himself, especially for you, Kree. Being it one of Vander's specialties, you do notice that at least it quickly helps with your stomach. The headache hasn't gone away, but at least you feel like you're not going to lose your cookies, and you feel much better about life in the moment that that tea hits your stomach. So what are you three going to get up to with today?
Well, I said first priority was just hand over the notes we prepped to Kree's gnome friend.
Yep, Rowan Ralnor is waiting for your notes this morning before she departs back to Arlia. You never really specifically talked about what would be in, like, I don't think we did that, like, in character on what you were gonna put in those notes. So, like, just quickly for me, was it just a sketch of Matilda's symbol? Like, what
Yeah, it
what's
was
gonna be in these?
Basically, just a little like here's if you see any goods with this symbol on it, or here's a description of what she looks like. If this comes up, just please let us know. There
Okay.
we go. So
Okay. So pretty straightforward, but you're trying to give a general outline of Matilda, what the Emporium goods were, the logo, everything else.
yeah, like her maker's mark and so on.
Okay. So are you going to go take care of that right now then?
Yeah, just make sure that doesn't get missed before we leave.
Okay. Well, you can make your way back into the guard's keep, and you see the same sight that Vander just saw a few minutes ago. It's a sea of activity that is quickly starting to dwindle as people depart one way or another. But you can make your way towards where Rowan's room is. She indicated it last that you spoke, and she's actually pretty easy to spot because she's standing outside, just kind of leaning against the door, and you see 2 rather large suitcases next to her made of very fine wood and leather, and she's just kind of standing there like she's waiting for you specifically.
Hey, dear Honor, thank you very much for waiting for me.
She nods, and you see her arms kind of out in case she has to talk with the enchanted tattoos, but she just kind of nods and smiles for the moment.
This is everything we had, and just hand over the notes that were prepped the night before.
Okay, yeah, she'll take him and spend a moment kind of looking over them, and she thumbs through them and then goes back to the front and kind of nods and shrugs and rolls them up, and she pops out a bit of ribbon from her pocket that has wax on it, twirls it up, seals it with her thumb, tucks it in her pocket, and then you see the magical tattoos on her arm kind of rearrange into common words, and she says, "Thank you, this makes sense, and I'll make sure that I pass it along as soon as I'm back to Neswin, and I'm sure Neswin will know more what to do with it."
I appreciate that very much. Keep us.
Was there anything else that I can help with before I depart?
I don't really want to be a problem. I don't think there's much else, but if you're doing a favor for us, if there anything comes up that you think we might need assistance with, reach out to us as well, you know?
I will keep it in mind, and I will send your regards to Neswin. We will be in contact. Well, she will be in contact if we find anything about your friend.
Safe travels back.
Thank you. And are you going straight back to the ship, or?
Unless she saw like some kind of an errand that needed to happen, like in the galley or anything she was checking last night instead of sleeping.
It seems pretty well stocked by
yeah.
Covita.
I think she's pretty much just waiting for their surprise passengers.
Okay.
Sonny's kind of ready to leave.
Yep. Well, as you start to walk away, then you would see Rowan kind of comically pick up the two suitcases. She doesn't pick them up though. She just puts her hands on top of them as if she is going to pick them up, but they're pretty much the same height as her, so it would be quite a feat. And you feel arcane distortion kind of quickly build up behind you and then snap, and she's gone in the blink of an eye. So she used some kind of a teleportation device, spell, something like that as well, but there's kind of a ionic static in the air for a moment after she vanishes, and she's gone, but at least she took the notes about Matilda with her. So
makes your travel itinerary very flexible when you can do that.
it does, very much so. And you see a couple carriages pulling out with diplomats, and there's one or two that also have some kind of a personal teleportation spell as they leave too, but it's quickly thinning out down there. So back to the ship, or?
Yeah, I think Sonny will go back to the ship and just kind of double check everything and make sure it's like, okay, this looks like it's good.
Okay, yeah. Since you've had some time to poke around both before this and now when you go back, the pantry is completely stocked by Covita, most likely, and the guards. So you have all your basic food building blocks. You have even a keg of ale they managed to sneak in there. The bedrooms are pretty sparse, but of course you can furnish those as you all need. There's sheets, pillows, etc., but you'll be the ones to really put a mark on what they become. And then the rest of the ship is ready to go and completely rigged, just like it was delivered to you. It's never really been taken out on the ocean before. You have the key that's required to operate it. So unless there's something specific that you all want to go get from town, it is pretty stocked for the most part. So you can spend some time going around and double checking, but you're going to find that everything is, to use the phrase, shipshape. Yeah. Cree and Cass, are you doing anything in the brief time that Sonny is gone? Are you doing anything when Sonny's back?
I've been force feeding you bacon sandwiches. But otherwise, Cass is just quiet, keeping to herself.
Same thing?
Just chewing.
It's a pretty quiet morning then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, those smell really good.
Have one.
Eat this.
You're welcome. So
From down the hallway.
Are you all right, Cass?
oh yeah, fine. So we're just waiting on Spalea and possibly Entourage.
That's what it sounds like.
That'll be good. Can we put up like some noise barriers around Vander's cabins?
I do know.
There might be multiple reasons.
I do know a silent spell.
Excellent.
Every night.
Watch us, that's where the pirates then break into and we just start
Putting silence spells have consequences, yes. Never know what you might miss if you have a silence spell cast.
I mean, then there's also, considerate.
Yes, that is true.
As you're all sitting there, so you guys are all down in the like small galley
Mhm.
eating, right? You hear the sound of somebody thumping unceremoniously down the small set of stairs to the interior of your ship, and almost immediately you recognize the thumping because it's somebody that walks with a very specific gait, and you're used to the sound of her armor. And in moments, you see not really frazzled. Her hair isn't perfect, but she does look a little tired. She's in her normal outfit, but Kovita pops her head into the galley and kind of leans against the door and kind of glances at you all. And immediately her eyes float and lock on Kree. And she just, "Good morning."
Good morning.
Breakfast.
"Oh, thank you. It smells delicious. I already eat in the keep, but I wanted to see how you were all doing, especially after last night, and if you were planning on heading out sooner, what your day was like.
I think we're departing a little later today, yes?
Is there anything else that we can provide from the keep? I tried to make sure that it was stocked, but if you've noticed something or thought of something else, we would, of course, try our best to provide it for you."
Everything looks very well maintained. We're perfectly stocked, honestly.
I mean, remember, they built it for the council, so it's overly nice, in my opinion, for a ship. If it's this polished, it makes me wonder how it would actually perform in a storm on the sea. Not to make you worry or anything, it's just I like my ships a little more character.
I'm quite at home at the sea, so I think the ship will do.
Did you ever... You mentioned that when you returned from places unnamed that you had issues contacting your gods when you were at sea. Did that ever resolve itself, or is that something that you are still dealing with, Sani?
I haven't heard them as well for a bit. No.
So perhaps being at sea will be a good thing, then, on the long
I'm
journey?
hoping so. I'm hoping so.
I hope so as well. Not too much of a hangover from last night, Kree?
No, I woke up wonderfully. You're looking great. I'm sure you had a wonderful evening. I'm sure.
Why would you say that?
I would never speculate. I'm sorry.
I'm clearly missing something. I'm not sure I want to know.
He tried to crash my date. Not really, but they bumped into me when I was on a date, and I was also making some money, kicking ass.
We hadn't quite gotten to that part, and we were a little worried maybe it was something else was going on, you know?
Being the guard, well, I appreciate the concern. It's quite funny in the light of day. Being the guard captain, there are lots of people that would like to challenge me on a more friendly level, and the propensity to have arm wrestling matches when I go out it happens every time at this point, so I just expect it. And so far I remain undefeated, and I make quite a pretty penny when I do it as well. But those two had already had a few drinks and stumbled upon me and my date, and Gaspard looked like they wanted to turn themselves inside out. So I had to come today to give him some last ribbing.
Yes, no, I mean, frankly, I'm just glad that you're doing okay. And,
Why wouldn't I be doing okay?
no, I'm not saying, I mean, you were fantastic. You looked fantastic. It was always,
We were a couple drinks in, and we kind of thought the people waiting to arm wrestle you might have been trying something more untoward, you know?
I put that together after you left, and we talked about the whole thing, so it's actually very sweet that you were looking out for me. And if it was, for instance, the Haven Snouts trying to get revenge, it would have been very nice to have you there, so...
I have complete faith in your ability to handle anything that comes up.
I appreciate that. I do as well. If it was a hag, I don't know about that. If it's one of the assassins from the Haven Snouts, I don't really expect it to be that hard to kill, but you never know. And especially if your guard is down, I don't want that to be the way I go out.
Especially on a date, that would just be a bad way.
It would be a very, very bad way to go out on a date. When I go, I want it to be peacefully in my bed, hopefully after a very nice meal and drink, and not getting stabbed in the middle of some fucking tavern.
Listen, your friends seem very nice.
She is very nice.
Capable if fight broke out or something. I don't know.
Well, she is. Actually, believe it or not, she would probably be the more deadly one in combat, despite me being quite skilled at this point in my life. But
Oh, really?
yeah, she has a, how do you say, not problem, but when she gets mad, things die. She's a barbarian, and let's just say I have seen her. It was very warranted, mind you. It was not a breach of any local law or anything like that, but she did rip a man in half once. Very much. It was during the Haven Snout occupation, and it was very warranted. The man was killing people, but that's where I fall in love with her. So, if anything were to happen, I'm pretty sure she would take care of them. And
Well, I'm glad I didn't make a scene.
I don't think she would have ripped you in half. She might have given you a black eye at the most, but
And then you could have just covered it up. It would have been.
I think enough damage was done last night.
You should have just tried, going to bed early. It does wonders for the soul.
You're not exactly living proof of that right now, Paris.
I don't know what you're talking.
Have you looked in a mirror this morning?
I'm avoiding that.
did you also go out drinking? I didn't see you with these two.
No, I didn't go out.
Ah. Are you doing all right?
Yes. I'm
All right.
fine.
Well, is there anything else I can bring you? I assume you will come say goodbye before you leave.
Yes, I'm planning to.
So nothing else I can do in the meantime?
Done plenty for us.
You've already done us.
I don't think we can ever repay what you did with the Hague, because the way that thing was operating, I believe it would have lasted many years in the city and done irreparable damage to many individuals and their families and visitors, so I don't think we're even yet. We're getting closer, but
Well, if you ever create any protocol for casting spontaneous magic on different establishments, feel free to call it the Gestapo.
why would I? When did you cast spontaneous? What did you do?
Oh!
Didn't do
Oh,
anything. Nothing.
I thought that was public. No,
No.
It was on
If
the
there's-
hag. It was at home.
if-
It was nothing.
If there's some crime you wish to confess before you leave.
Anything
know
you wish
how
to
to commit a
unburden? Anything you wish to unburden of your soul?
Just say, forgive me, Mommy. I have committed crime.
Cass, you're not helping.
I'm the most helpful.
And she waves. She just kind of waves at you. She sees how like bright red you're turning, and she doesn't care. But she seems to be enjoying it. You do not worry about it. You apparently are still a little hungover and not remembering events correctly. But
Couldn't have said it better.
well, I will be in the keep today, seeing all the hoity-toities out. Most of them are starting to depart, but I assume it will be a whole day thing with them slowly leaving, especially after someone just caused such a scene, she says down the hallway towards the snoring door. There,
Was it?
it would, no, not by any stretch of the words, unless you're one of them, because last night when he left with Scalea, there was such a buzz of a prince and a princess leaving on a date, and they have been in a tizzy about it ever since. And then they just walked in the gate about an hour ago, and everyone is whispering in the rumor mill like people do, and it's annoying as hell. And my guards are starting to join in too, which I am giving them a bit more leeway because they know you all and everything, but I'm done with it.
I heard that there may be an understanding and an alliance being formed through this.
I'm sure that's what a lot of them are going to say, the ones that actually have reputable news sources and are not just tabloids, but you just need to be careful of your reputation, or it's going to become heroes of Orishire sleep their way through the city.
That's a bit the worst thing than that.
Although I suppose that's unfair. My joke almost worked. Scalea is not a member of Orishire, not a citizen of Orishire. It's still funny, though. All right, enough ribbing for you now. I will be in the keep if you need anything before you set out. So hopefully you all get your sea legs under yourself before you leave, and have a good rest of your morning. And tell Vander that I said hello.
Absolutely, absolutely.
She kind of gives a nod.
Pass along congratulations for his engagement.
Say what?
And we'll pass along your congratulations at his engagement.
Please do. I would love to see the look on that innocent furblog's face when you say that. But yes, please pass that on. And she kind of nods and does a little, like, very informal wave and turns around and walks up and out of the ship and leaves you to your mostly finished meals and tea.
That was the most painful experience I've ever gone through in my entire life.
Really worse than the Hagstone?
Was it? On a metaphysical level, yes, very close.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, last night was fun. Vander had a good time. Kavita had a good time. We had a good time.
Yeah.
We didn't have a stressful morning, but yeah. A few more times it'll get better. I may have, before I got intoxicated, may have reached out to Festy. He's okay. So, I mean, no particular reason. I'm just saying that, you know, it's good to know. Yeah, it's good to know she got out. Exactly. Yeah.
It's really good news. I'm only wearing one boot. Excuse me.
It said mirrors.
Which, sadly, you don't have any on the ship, so you might want to get those at some point.
Got a pocket mirror.
I mean, yeah, you have pocket mirrors, I suppose, but hard to see a full body profile on that.
Just gotta... Okay.
Yep.
So should we be looking for Skilea, or are we waiting? Like, I think it wasn't very specific. No, I don't think he was. No. Okay. I wasn't, for one, gonna say goodbye to Kavita, so I'm glad that she stopped by and told us that we were gonna say goodbye to Kavita. Do we have any agenda? Just get out to sea once everything's ready for me. I like Orachara, but I'm ready to not be here for a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure you can get right on track to being hailed by pirates and distant nationalists. And what are we gonna name ourselves in the event that we actually make it to land? What do you mean? I mean, every ship's got a name. There's the SS Maria. There's battleships always have something really formidable. Oh, you mean the ship? I thought you meant us. No, I don't. There's a Warshire or assassins at Havens now. What's the next one we're going to pick up? Probably something sexual. If we're going by recent events.
You just hear a laugh from Cass's quarters while just sobbing.
No, I just keep those things to myself as much as I can. I try, but frankly, it just seems like you guys all find yourself in very interesting social situations, and I mean, it's good. I mean, frankly, it's a bit better than no social situations. You only live once, right? Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Slightly more put together cast reappears, wiping tears from her eyes. That's an interesting conversation. So we're coming up with ship names, eh?
So, are you alright?
I'm just so overjoyed about Leslie.
Oh! Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm sure she's planning the downfall of another nation or something along those lines. I didn't get specifics, but she was doing well. And
Do we have any word on Geo?
that's just no.
I'm sure he's.
Yeah, I mean he has to be. I mean, Festy would have said something, you know, didn't give me that, you know, dramatic I'm sorry. If she knew, she is the type who would probably have said, you know. Probably would have been allowed
probably were heard quite excessively.
Oh, it's you. I'm so sorry. By the way, your father's dead.
Yeah. These jokes are delightful. Maybe we should just. No, it's fine. It's. I mean, you know, it's. But I mean, naming the ship is. I feel like.
Yes,
a
it sounds
duty,
like
and
you
you're
have-
the captain, so I mean.
You sound like you had something to say.
Well, suddenly I'm thinking the Geo could be really good. Like, bring that energy into the ship.
So we just name it after like missing people. So
We-
like the
Who are totally well and fine.
yeah, 100%. I mean, so they find us, you know. So we just
Yeah.
the Matilda de Castel
No.
a la Agvir. No. Yeah, Matilda. Why?
It's a little weird to combine their names for one thing.
Why? They've
It's
never even
just-
met.
Gio and Matilda knew each other.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, they did know each other. I mean, okay. I mean,
So it's kind of weird in the first place. I don't. I don't know. Maybe it's just in my culture. We don't really name ships after people.
is that bad luck?
It's just not really a thing we do, you know.
Okay.
And even if we did, I think it's kind of inauspicious if I'm traveling around the world on a ship named after two missing people I slept with both of.
Oh my god.
You see how that looks?
Sonny, do you have like a thing? Like, are you?
What do you mean?
Are you like the siren of the sea?
We are moving on from this.
Green, we haven't suggested something. Maybe Sonny's just that bad they run
Wait, what?
away. Maybe it's just Sonny is just so not good. They've run away. Maybe it's
You know there are lots of plates right here.
Sonny.
I mean, to be fair, Sonny's exploits did not blow up Giovanni, so I mean,
We can stop talking about this at any time.
Okay, so we can't name it after people.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, that might be weird to say that, like, we're all right and you're bad.
Okay. So we go with the Excelsior, the Swift Scabbard. No, that's also dirty. The
Doesn't have to be, but okay.
Oh my god. Okay, so there's this like legend, fairy tale, whatever, I don't know, story that we were told as a kid,
Yes.
or like a teenager, because it's maybe not entirely appropriate for children. But it's about this like magical tavern that like you go to, and then like you can just go anywhere in the world, and it's like the most amazing place, and it's called the
Dramatic Butterfly.
the geometric no prismatic dragonfly.
The children. That is a children's story.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is a children's story, just people been went places with it. But what does this ship do but take us places? It could be fun, it could be wholesome, it could be not wholesome.
I mean, I wouldn't mind skipping the journey if that was possible.
Especially with your stomach kids right now.
I'm actually feeling better.
That's good.
But go a little long. I mean, you can't name it after the story. Shorten it a bit. Maybe add
Dragonflies are nice.
Yeah, I like dragonflies. They're so pretty. Okay.
I can hire someone with it. Do you wanna be
I feel like
official?
I think so. You find somebody for it. Still waiting for Scalia. I don't know how long she's going to need to rest first.
Oh, Vander's any indication, she's probably out.
He's snoring!
Okay, just checking us. I can't trust any of you.
After that prior conversation.
Yeah. Sorry, the DM had to step in and ask an out of character question. The hell does that mean? That's all good. Continue. I'm fine. It's all good. It's all good, Free. Keep going.
So advantage on communication, she's probably asleep. So you can just basically go and just, I mean, I'm sure that someone at the keep would just be able to know and hire somebody. I mean, just painting a name.
Yeah, we can check really quickly.
Cool. And you got your message out, and we're going to Quandir.
Mm-hmm. The maps I was looking at them last night.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, let's do this. Let's get all fancied up and go on the sea. It's isolated from all of civilization, and what's this gonna take?
I am not sure how fast the ship is, to be honest.
I think it's like a 3-hour journey.
Okay, because I hate horses. I mean, anything longer than 3 hours sounds unbearable.
Sana, you know that even though you don't know how fast the ship goes, on average, on your normal like barge that's transporting goods, not like Psych ship or anything, but like average, it's probably 3 weeks from here to Quandir.
I mean, a larger ship, it's going to be most of a month.
Yeah, when I said hours, I meant weeks.
Funny, that's a long time. And you think we have enough food?
Yes, I took stock of everything.
We have books and entertainment and medicines and weapons.
I mean, if you want to spend an hour or two getting some things to entertain yourselves with, go ahead. I was just going to do rituals.
I have a fat box, so at least sharpening that's gonna take a while.
Well, I could probably write a couple plays in that time.
And you know, we have a figurehead that needs to be carved into a dragon planet.
Yeah, I could totally do that. I've used a knife before.
I was more thinking maybe this is Vander. I feel like that's Vander's skills.
Yeah, that's a better idea. Creative director.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is like big transport ships. Something like this is probably going to go faster.
Magic. So like,
Well, that and also just it's a faster ship. It's not so deep in the water.
okay. Cool. Okay.
Unless we run into a bird.
No,
I'm-
I don't think this is quite the right time of year for that kind of storm.
No.
I'm gonna go see about hiring a paint commission for the I'm gonna go.
I mean, with your background, you could also try and do it yourself if you're feeling up to it this morning, but I have a feeling not.
Dangling off the side of the ship. There's the rocking. No, money is arbitrary. That's
At least to you.
Actually, that reminds me, I don't think we ever got the official total for the reward bag we were handed.
oh yeah.
I think, did I send you guys the amount of gems and everything or
I don't
not?
think we got that.
Okay,
We
I'll,
took over the ship.
yes, I'll give you the list of gems later, but the raw like money inside of it was 5,000 gold of just the coin. That's not counting the value of the multitude of gems that was in there. But
Okay, so
spendable coin, you have 5,000
we can
gold.
definitely hire a
Yeah.
painter.
I would hope so.
I mean, Gaspard can definitely hire a painter.
Yes, there goes most of your money. But
Of course, I'm not gonna skimp on it. We're gonna get a good painter. I mean, someone renowned and
It's not a mural.
it's forever, son. It's paint. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, I'm shipping off. So
you're shipping off the ship.
do I? Because I just go to like the first guard I see.
Yeah, I mean, you walking back into the keep, nobody tends to ever come out here unless they're using the docks or the garden back here. And you've seen one or two people pop back, one or two guards come back to use the garden and rip up some plants and plant some stuff and just weed it and stuff. But nobody's out here, so you make your way back in and you just bump into one of the more regular faced guards that you've seen quite a lot. You don't know their name or anything, but you know that he's a regular kind of thing, and you can just walk up to him.
I need the best artist in all of Warwickshire. Paints as the medium.
Oh, all right, but are you doing a group like painting or something like that? That'd be I could see that.
You can add that to the list. I think that would be swell. We could put it on the they'll deal with it later. Well, yes, and also painting the side of the ship, and
But like, wait, like a name or something?
yeah, adorning the ship. Any sort of decorative. I mean, maybe we can get some like other adornments as well if you know anybody. But like, I think we just really got
Someone for ship adornments.
yeah. But also the painting thing. That sounded good.
I mean, there's a multitude of people that work on the docks that perform cosmetic adjustments to ships and things like that. Typically, they have a, I dare say, real job on top of that, and that's just a side thing that they do. I know the dock master. He does a decent amount of. Typically, he does figurehead carving, I believe. But I can put the word out if you want. I assume you want it before you all leave today. Kovita had mentioned that you should all be heading out.
Yeah, urgency is a must, and money is no object. So,
Sonny dies inside back on the ship.
So I just have some like, I shouldn't have let them know by themselves, huh?
Good thing you only gave him a portion of the coin.
Oh, I don't have any of that. This is all.
Just signing contracts, spending money that he,
Yeah.
that he doesn't
my
have.
dad will pay for this.
Yeah. My shark mom will pay for this.
Mom, you collect it.
Gotta get them all. Got them.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah. So,
All right, I'll put the word out and see if we can get someone over here quickly for you. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll be on the ship, and you know where to find us, and keep doing what you're doing.
I will. You too.
Heroes of Orshire are always. We're leaving. Never mind. You're great. Bye.
It's very like half amused smile as you walk away. So you have put the word out for a painter. The next couple hours are going to pass somewhat uneventfully as Vander sleeps and other things kind of tick away in the background as the sun rises in the sky, and it gets around lunchtime unless Sonny and Cass have anything they'd like to specifically accomplish during the time. Nothing? Which is fine, just double check.
Yeah, nothing's immediately springing to mind right now.
Okay. Around midday, the noise from the keep reaches normal levels for you all after your multi-week stay here, and it seems like most of the diplomats have departed at this time. But as you're all on the ship doing various things, I assume, you see a familiar face, surprisingly, walking down the dock, waddling, more like it, down the dock, and you're surprised to see pink hair bobbing along with the toolbox being carried in one hand and a small staff in the other as you see Eerie Lightmix walking down the dock towards your ship.
Yuri.
I assume like all of you on deck, Sonny's on deck,
Yeah.
everybody's except Sleepy Boy.
How long has it been? since you went to bed?
I mean, you got back into the crack of dawn, so it's almost been like 6-7 hours, so.
He'll probably be up, but he won't be on the deck.
Okay, but he's awake down below.
Yeah.
Okay. She seems very focused on her feet as she's walking, but that's just kind of Eerie in general. You remember from the brief time that some of you met her, and she looks up at Sonny and goes, "Oh, hello! I heard that you all were in need of an artist."
An artist?
One of the guards recommended that we also get a mural done, and I thought, you know, what a great way to cement the occasion. I mean, this is, yeah.
We don't have time for that.
Does a painting take?
A long time.
3 months? Sorry.
The sass. Eerie walks up the gangplank that's been extended from the ship, and Eerie, standard height for a gnome, her bright pink hair is actually bright pink because all the dust and grime that was in it last time when you met at the Thunderpad is gone, and she actually has it up in a cute little bun, and her clothes are clean as well, another shock, and she's brought her toolkit, the same one that you saw originally that she had, but she also has a bag slung over her shoulder that seems like it does have some kind of art supplies in there, and she walks up like with a curious eyebrow raised as she kind of hears you two talking.
I think there was a bit of a miscommunication. It is very good to see you, though.
Oh, it's good to see you. Have you been all right since the incident?
Ups and downs.
No more gods or anything showing up?
I mean,
You forgot about that?
I wasn't there. Nice to meet you. I mean,
yes, Gaspard was out with our friend Bander.
No. I know. I've never seen you before. I'm talking about the fact that
Yeah.
you and your friends forgot about dealing the
Oh,
god.
no.
Did they tell you about the god?
But I mean, we've been through a lot recently.
You
so-
see multiple gods?
I haven't seen any, but something.
They're still talking about it out there. It took a day for that temple thing to vanish that you summoned, and it's still like some of them are calling it a curse site. Not that we've had any problems. I will say what you did cleaned everything up, and its construction has been going perfectly at the Thunderpad since then. But there's a kind of weird cult following around the Thunderpad now. A lot of people tend to have like religious beliefs towards it, and it's weird. So
We'll get to that in a second.
You know,
I don't like that you're making that face.
see, what I'm hearing is that people just found the divineness of our Lord and Savior Heta.
That's,
I think
oh,
we should give us-
the octopus. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
she's here. Look, before we get further off track, I'm not sure how it ends up getting to being an entire artist. We were just trying to find somebody to paint the name on the ship.
one of the guards was shouting around down on the docks. He didn't really know what he was doing, but he was looking for somebody that said, "Oh, the heroes of Orishire need an artist." And I mean, I do dabble myself, so I figured, oh, I know them, so I thought I'd come by and say hi and see what you need.
Well, all we actually need is the name painted on the side of the ship. But
Oh,
like I said, it is
I mean,
very
that's
specific.
that's really simple. I can do that.
It would be very much appreciated.
He mentioned something about like a hero's portrait and a bunch of other stuff, and I was really confused, like what the request was. So
Sonny, frankly, I think you should be happy that I wasn't able to zhuzh up the story of your divine temple or anything like that. I mean, this is a small price to pay, and it's her, your friend from the thing that happened with the stuff.
It is good to see you again. It's
likewise. Did she tell you how she was covered in like divine kisses and stuff?
No, she didn't. Go on.
You should ask that. Well, I think I
Oh
should
my
probably
gosh,
get to
it was
work.
so good we didn't tell you that story.
It was that a goddess called her out pretty much. It was still one of my top moments in my life. Just, yeah. I mean, I wasn't there specifically exactly when it happened, but I was nearby. And
That just makes the story even better.
yeah, I suppose. Did you pick a name for this thing yet?
the dragonfly.
Just a dragonfly?
Mm-hmm.
What color?
Rainbow.
The D&D party sees ceases to function.
Do you have purple?
I have a palette that pretty much has any color on it, especially if I mix the chemicals specifically for that pigment. But
Yeah, I think like a bright, shimmery purple.
so lilac.
Deeper. This is a royal, noble ship with actual royalty.
So-
upon it.
So dark purple.
Yeah.
Okay, so dark purple with shimmer dust in it.
Yeah.
Sort of. Okay.
All right, fine.
Big name, small name, fancy text. Like, what are you thinking for it?
Make a statement.
I'm not sure if I should listen to you. I know we just met, but call it intuition. What?
Make a statement.
All right. Is it just the name, or did you want like a little dragonfly or something?
Well, I guess yes, if you could do like a little bright pink dress.
This is why you hire an artist.
All
I
right.
don't understand how it got such a miscommunication of what we actually needed.
The guard suggested it, and I thought it was a good idea.
Oh, I'm sure that's all right. Well, anyway, it's not going to take me long to do that. I kind of was thinking that I might offer my services to touch up your ship, but this thing looks like it's brand new, so I'm pretty sure you just need a name on it at this point.
I think that's where that's. Yeah.
Well, the Thunderpad is going to be active within the month, so if you ever come back in the future, you won't have to take the slow way, hopefully.
I'm very glad to hear that. Everything's been okay since we were out there?
Ever since you cleared up the Delos Armite, everything's been fine. Construction's continuing, we haven't had a single hiccup of the magical fields, and despite people hanging out there thinking that there's some kind of a weird connection to the octopus god that showed up when the temple fell out of the sky, appeared what have you. And then Fade making an appearance, and then everyone knowing the goddess of magic showed up as well. It's a tourist extraction already, so we have to deal with quite a lot of intruders and trespassers and things, but they're harmless for the most part. They're just...
I'm so sorry about that.
I mean, it's fine, and you got rid of the Delzarmite, which could have killed a lot of people, so I deeply appreciate that, and it was an interesting night, to say the least.
Yes, it was.
You should write a book about it.
I mean, there's a couple things I'd write a book about in my life. I mean, that would be a chapter, for sure. Definitely the octopus, the goddess, and the kisses. Something like that.
Oh, gods.
Or maybe paint it as a mural, not on the ship.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Stop.
I mean, Fade is a quite impressive goddess figure, and then I really like that idea. I'm gonna have to try and do a mural with the octopus hanging in the sky, and the explosion and
1% royalties for it.
say what?
I'll need like 1% royalties.
You can have that. I mean, that just sounds like a lovely little landmark. I'll have to see if I can convince her to let me. Well, anyway. Let me get this name taken care of for you. And she walks over to the edge of the ship, and then she pauses on the starboard side of the ship, and she turns back and looks at everybody. Which side or both? Starboard's typically where I'd expect it, but technically there's no law.
Starboard.
Starboard?
That's fine.
Sure.
All right. And without much ceremony at all, she walks over and from her bag, she pulls kind of like a grappling hook style claw blade, sinks it into the side, and jumps over.
So, are you sure we can't hire her to build an extra room? Because I think she could come along with us. That would be like...
I'm like Erie. She has a job and she's already in high demand.
Well, this was fun otherwise.
We do have an extra room. It's just being occupied already, it sounds like.
Yes. We're
You
in
can't, just,
too.
you can't really just add rooms to a hull.
There's exactly.
Oh,
How much
guess
space
what?
do we need?
That is where we keep our food.
No. Okay, I don't know ships. Just build it on the side.
I've been back and forth over this ship for the last few hours. There's not really a lot of extra space. Everything is very efficient.
I tried.
You did. What, do you want a roommate?
No, I don't think I have
We
too
should
much.
bump up.
I mean, I personally feel like not now. No, that's this conversation's changed course a lot.
What do you think I felt just now?
Okay, I'm not the one that manifested a temple in the middle of a construction site.
That wasn't really what that spell was supposed to do. There was a lot of weird magic going on.
I mean, when Heta is involved. Okay, I'll stop with the.
Hey, that's pressed up against the bottle, like looking. Yes, you keep speaking of me.
I'm just saying, I mean, with all due respect, I could have made pamphlets. I meant to make pamphlets.
As you're all talking up there, Vander, as you're, slowly waking up and kind of returning to the world with everybody else down in your room, you get the brief surprise of someone slamming into the port window that's in your bedroom, and you see a pair of dusty, small, gnomish boots slam into it, and then kind of scramble up the side, and you hear somebody, doing something on the hull outside of your room.
He'll peek out the port window.
Yeah, you can swing it open, and you weren't there, were you? You've never seen Aria before. Okay, so yeah, you see a gnome wearing some deep blue overalls with very nice leather boots. She's got her sleeves rolled up on a dark charcoal gray shirt, and her hair is vibrant otherworldly pink done up in a bun. She has a pair of goggles that are sitting on top of her head. She's got a bag hanging off one side, and she's kind of rappelling down the side of the ship, and you see that she has a paintbrush in one hand as well as a small little palette in the other one that's the one that's holding the rope, and she's tapping it and doing something with the ink, and she just kind of looks down and she goes, "Hi!
Hi!
I'm putting the name on your ship."
Oh, cool. What's the name?
Well, they told me it's dragonfly, so hopefully that's actually what you all wanted and decided. So I'm supposed to do a purple shimmery, and you all hear Eerie off the side. You don't really hear Vander, but you hear her. It's supposed to be like purple shimmery, big bold text with a tiny little purple dragonfly, and it's dragonfly. Pink dragonfly.
That's cute.
I mean, it's gonna make a statement. I'd say that. So they're all up there if you want to talk to them.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
I'll try not to get any paint on your window.
Thanks.
And she goes to painting the name on the side of the ship. Are you staying in your room or you're going upstairs?
Come out.
Okay. So as you walk up onto the ship, the sun is much higher in the sky when you originally returned this morning. You feel decently rested. You see that the port is much more busy as the ships are coming and going at a much higher rate than normal, as it's kind of like the busiest time in the bay. And you see everybody kind of standing near the edge that Eerie's hanging off of. Sonny looks flustered. Kree looks confused. Cass looks like Cass.
Cass smiled at
What did I miss?
Not much. Yeah. We almost had a mural put on the ship,
Oh,
which would have been a little much.
I just wanted a painting. I just like a put it on the wall, on the mantle. I mean, the
little decoration for your room.
I just thought it'd be nice to remember of us, in case anything happens on sea.
That's cute. Well,
Gaspar, you're not comfortable with ships, are you? Or the open ocean?
I like cities. You can be there, you can leave there, you can disappear there, you can shop, you can find things you need, you can steal things you need. You can't really do that on the ocean.
No, it's just you're here with your friends and your thoughts. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. Oh, yeah.
We've all worked through our shoes.
oh. Has Sith arrived yet?
No, we haven't seen her though. I'm starting to think we might need another keg or two at this rate.
Oh. We can go pick up some kegs though, if you'd like.
Yes, I'll go take care of that, and I can trust the two of you can handle Eerie now that we actually know what she's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good.
I'll head with this. I can carry those kegs.
Good plan. I just feel like we're going to need more than one with how this morning is going.
And that spice rum is fantastic. We're down a bottle. So we should get more of that.
Okay.
I want some things to work through!
No, I get it. I get it.
I don't.
What?
I don't. What happened?
Oh, we named the ship the Dragonfly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
Expertly dodged. That was beautiful. Hey, look, Vander.
So cute.
All right. So are the two of you going to go set out and get another barrel of ale and some whiskey?
Yeah, just get a couple bottles of whatever we can find that looks decent and like a keg or two sent over to the ship.
Well, you can do that in the kitchen for the keep because Kovita was pretty insistent on helping you with anything that you needed. So you can just walk in and request it. So it's super easy. And you're able to go in. There's a chef in the kitchen that is somewhat familiar with you all, and you've seen his face a couple times, so he'll definitely help you out and get another barrel over there, as well as the whiskey. And as you guys are kind of walking back out of the keep through that large dining room common area that you've shared a couple meals with Kovita and a lot of the guards at in your time here, you see the very distinct royal blue, silver, and other adornments on one of the Silver Knight guards. It's not Aaron. It's not Skalea. There were two others, a human and there were two humans, Aaron being one of them, and there was a halfling. This is the other human, and she's a somewhat frail-looking human. She looks oddly pale and stuff, and seems of decent spirits, and you've seen her in the entourage, but you've never really heard her speak or anything like that. And she seems kind of lost in thought as she's leaning up against one of the walls, looking at some of the artwork that's hanging in the great hall of the Orishire Guard Keep, which used to be the noble's castle. And she kind of catches you out of the corner of her eye and does a double take, and she like snaps her fingers in the air and then like shakes her hand and says, hey, come here.
Hi.
You're friends with Vander, right?
I'm Andrew.
Wait, did you go? Or no, sorry, I thought they were there for some reason. Anyway, same thing, readjusting in head. Hey, has Skalea found you yet? Has Aaron found you yet?
I just woke up.
All right. FYI, Aaron didn't really like the fact that Skalea wants to break off and go on a little trip to Quandir, which is not surprising. He might try and find you and have a very rough word with you, so just wanted to let you know that.
How rough are we thinking?
I mean, he's not gonna do anything too untoward. He's very protective of her after a couple assassination attempts and other things that happened. Wasn't a fan of... He's a very strong personality, but he just cares a lot. I mean, she's his boss, so...
I can respect that.
I don't believe we were introduced.
No, I tend to keep to myself. My name's Sari.
Sorry, Sonny.
Nice to meet you, and I know your name.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I know that she can take care of herself, just try to keep her somewhat safe. There's a lot of people that would be very sad and distraught if anything happened to her, not to mention she is a very important person in general.
Especially after what happened when she tried to help us.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Like you didn't, when she got injured, remember?
Oh, I didn't know if you were referring to something else that happened or how she was
She
injured.
was casting that sending on our behalf.
No, we know, but there's a few things she hasn't completely keyed us in on, and that's her prerogative, but I just want to make sure she's safe. That's my main job. I wouldn't be surprised if she kind of runs out to the ship at the last second to try and avoid Aaron, so she might not show up until you're about ready to leave, just in case. So
I mean,
I know it sounds overly dramatic, but like Aaron is way too protective of that diplomat.
I'm sure our friends wouldn't mind one of you coming along or two.
Well,
the ship is
that's-
small. But
Yeah, I mean, that's what we pitched originally. Aaron was, in fact, insisting that she needed a bodyguard, preferably him, because none of us are as good as him, apparently. But she was saying that it's a cramped ship, and we can, of course, meet her in Quandir through other means. So we can easily get there through teleportation. She could, too, but she's not taking the fast route, is she?
what?
Seems
Nothing.
Like
Anyway, when you get ready to leave and say goodbye to Kovita, I bet she'll show up around them. So if you see the big burly man, try to avoid Aaron. We're going to try and distract him as much as we can, too, because he's being an idiot right now, but just FYI.
Good to know. Good to know. Thank you.
Of course. And you're so confused.
So it sounds like we just need to put this leaving into motion then, and Skalea will find us.
Seems like.
Also, are we sure Aaron's interest is fully professional?
I kind of have a feeling maybe it's a bit. But
He seems like
I
a
don't
very
like
protective father to me.
it's still not wholly professional, you know?
Yeah.
No, definitely not professional.
That is the vibe that you've picked up, is a very, like, overly, like, protecting a young daughter kind of thing, which is hilarious considering how old she is compared to this human. But it's a very, very fatherly vibe, for sure.
Mhm.
Overly protective, but still, yeah. All right, well, you put in the request at the kitchen. Anything else that you guys are doing? Are you going to take the opportunity now to say goodbye to Kovita and everybody,
Yeah,
or...
probably a good time.
That's a great idea, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Are you there? Is everybody there? Okay. I figured you left Erie with the ship, but just to make sure.
did stop by earlier. Said hi. Also wished you congratulations. Your engagement.
What am I engaging in?
To be wed.
You
What?
tell us.
Yeah.
No!
Who do you think?
I wonder.
married! I'm not getting married!
Sonny understands that type of humor. I don't think Vander.
Everyone assumes that obviously you and Skalea are engaged because
Oh.
you two are like nobles and you form alliances and blah blah blah.
I'm exiled. It doesn't really work for me.
Well, when you're not exiled, it would work.
That's true.
When we go and save Treetop.
Yes, you're
Suddenly remembers the plot point. A personally important plot point.
Oh yes, he wants to save Treetop.
Mm-hmm.
Together they will save Treetop.
That we will. Maybe we're the alliance that needs to be formed.
Yes! Are we
Bender.
getting engaged?
Bender, marry me.
I guess
Found
we're
your beard
engaged
now.
Yes. Wait, what? I don't grow a beard.
I grow a beard.
See, you found him.
I don't know.
Sonny, I don't think those jokes work on cast.
Let's start figuring them out.
I think it's an island thing.
Makes sense. Well,
Yeah.
she's from the sea.
An island in the sea.
Oh, I guess so. But what if this count as an island in the sea?
Technically, aren't all land masses islands?
What are you even talking about over there?
Like spice rack or something.
Listen, you're not the only one who's hungover this morning.
It's having a good time.
Yes, we all had the feeling you did.
I'm gonna miss land so much.
Me too.
These are good times.
You sure you don't want some books or anything?
Crossroads.
I'm sure I could entertain you. I have various things that will busy your hands.
I don't have like if you wanna, you know. Actors.
Oh, like theatrics. I could try.
I'm going to go find Tobita.
Right.
I'm gonna need that clip on Twitch now of Ray killing Jillian and not acknowledging the fact that she's dying because of that.
What I do?
You'll have to see in the replay. You said something incredibly dirty. They killed.
Oh!
Just as innocent as his character.
That is one thing I take from myself and apply to Vander. I am dense.
I mean, it makes her. Yeah, the -1 charisma that is wooing a noble. So yeah, it just works. Just spilled that innuendo all over the floor. I love chat. So on that note, you all can find Kavita pretty easily. You're already in the keep, and she is upstairs in her office, which you have visited multiple times at this point. And as you walk up to say hi and then away, bye to Kavita, and hopefully get on your way here, that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break. So we're going to go ahead and take 10-15 minute break just so everybody can get up, stretch their legs, get snacks and all that kind of good stuff, and hopefully you can do the same and you'll stick around to see the second half of this episode after the break. We do something here on PDT that we've been playing around with for a while during breaks, and we really have fun with it most of the time, which is we leave the microphones on. So all we really do is shut the camera off and put the break screen on, but all of our microphones stay on, and we love to have nerdy chats with people in chat that ask questions about the characters, or we just talk about whatever random stuff comes up, which I'm sure there will be. So yeah, go ahead and stick around with us for the break if you'd like, and we'll be back in about 10 or 15 minutes. We will see you after that, or you can chat with us during it. So be right back. Oh my god, the amount of zingers in that people were not, so many different people were not getting one way or another. I have the clip screen up for that one with Vale, and I need to
Which one?
this one. Wait, hold on. Oh, I love how I hear myself twice because yeah. Never mind. I'll do it after the stream. But it was the one. It was the one of you saying, "Let's name the ship after the two like missing dead people that I slept with." So, yeah. So it's just great. If Andromeda Adventures is still here, which is I assume they are, and I assume it is.
They've been chatting.
Yeah, and I assume it's Frosty that's here.
Should be with that webcam.
I figure it's Frosty, and because I know Nick was supposed to be here as well, but Frosty, do you like the unintentional Anais cosplay? Because I didn't mean to do a blue coat with an orange shirt and my hair and everything, but it's kind of like unintentional cosplay of a different character. Oh yes, the innuendo is messy, yes. I like how I was also gesturing at the camera like the camera's on, and I can actually take my microphone off and You don't have to stare into the camera. I was saying that, did you like the unintentional Anna S. Clementine cosplay? Because I wore my blue jacket with an orange shirt. And, like, I don't know, it seemed like I was cosplaying that character for a bit tonight, so I thought that you, Nick, and anybody else watching would get a kick out of the unintentional cosplay. But,
Did.
say what?
They did.
They did?
Frosty also had a question about Eerie, I think.
Frosty had a question about Yuri?
I answered it, but you may want to answer it.
Oh, let me go scroll back up. I don't remember seeing one, but I'm not really answering, or I'm not really looking at chat because I am ADHD as enough as it is, and it is mixing chemicals. Now I want this character to be able to make... Eerie actually does make explosive pigments because she's an artificer, and one of the things that she specializes in is explosives, and that's her job on the construction site they were on. So yes, Eerie does make explosives, explosive pigments specifically. I like the image of Hadrian hiding on one of the building's roofs as a troublesome tourist, though.
I sort of said that in a shorter comment.
No, I did. Yeah, you answered it perfect. Yeah.
A reoccurring terror.
Yep.
I've always liked seeing Eerie show up, though.
I love Eerie, and that's probably the last chance I'm going to have to play Eerie for quite a while, I'm assuming, so... I just love Eerie's voice because it's so easy to do Gnomish voices. The problem is, it's the only Gnomish voice that I do, so I have to change... I have to try... I actually like Chromebeard's voice, but it's hard to do a multitude of Gnome voices, and Eerie's voice is just one of my favorites because Eerie is the first time I ever cosplayed on a stream as my character when we did that series of one-shots, and I still have that bright pink wig and the 3D goggles that I printed and everything, and that was one of my favorite little outfits, was wearing that whole, like, Eerie cosplay for 4 episodes of the stream. That's just,
All she has to do is build an apartment on the ship.
that's not how... I just love how Sonny was like, you can't add ships on, or add rooms onto a hull, kid. Like, do you not know?
Who grew up in a sailing village?
One gnome per city.
In theater, if we need it, we build it. And
Well,
it does not last.
It's just one memorable gnome per city because Eerie's voice is very specific. Eerie light, never mind, that voice just cracked. But light mix, Eerie light mix, hers is easy to do. But if you have other gnomes, you just have to take the same kind of cadence and play with it and stuff like that. But now I'm gonna be stuck in Gnomish all night, so I have to get back into Scalea's voice or somebody else's voice.
Always
Say what?
Neswin.
Well, Neswin, yeah. I guess Neswin was a different a gnome voice, and she was just the more stuck-up gnome voice, so... I really hope you bump into Neswin again. That would be fun, considering the way that you two met and
Or
everything.
one-sided relationship.
Yeah, you're very one-sided. You're just like, hey, diplomat lady.
I'm gonna trust you with all my secrets.
I'm gonna tell you
I'm in
everything.
the battery swap. I've got a freeze frame of you just straight.
Really? Nice.
It froze perfect. Good time.
I love it. I know your gnomes talk like mobsters, and I quite appreciate the fact that your gnomes talk like mobsters, and I don't trust myself to do a mobster voice. I'm sure I don't know if I can do it like you do, especially with a gnomish voice. Yeah, Shane. You can do a great mobster voice, like...
Yeah, you just
That-
watch clips of, like...
Wasn't that Sandy Pages that was a mobster voice-ish?
Sandy Pages was a little bit more 1920s.
1920s, yeah. Well, see, 1920s I can do, like, especially if it's that fucking announcer voice from, like...
Newsreel voice, yeah.
Yeah.
You just slow it down and you got your...
Newsy voice.
Oh, I guess I could see that. Well, 'cause, yeah, I always do it for which is weird and very niche for that voice because yeah, it's like a 1920 newscaster or whatever, newsroom. But like, I always think last time on the Legend of Korra, and like at the beginning of Legend of Korra, last time the Firebenders and the Fire Ferrets, and like you put some distortion on that, and that feels just like, just like that. So I love that voice. But I thought you've done a like, why can't I do a mobster voice? I swear you've done a mobster voice before for some character or something. Maybe it was in the game that one of your, like the one shot I did with you.
Oh, definitely the Dread game, where it was like, Joe Yeah, I was like, I was basically, trying to sell people car parts or something.
Oh,
it's basically
okay.
You gotta do something.
Sell people car parts. Yeah, that's
you
not
you
one
gotta
I
look good
oof.
and right, but
Oof.
you gotta,
That's not one I've done. It's really try to get into different accents with that. I have to practice.
just do flamboyant De Niro.
Flamboyant De Niro.
Whatever it turns out to be, you can't be wrong.
I would love to teach you the 1920s newscaster voice. It's actually one of my favorite voices I've never used because I can't think of a character to do it. But we don't play in any games that have radio, sadly. Maybe in Star Trek I could do that.
That's the automatic like sending filter.
Yeah, oh, that's you sending to someone. It's like, hi, this is Cree talking to you from. Do you know if my daddy's still alive? Or no, we just need in our Star Trek stream that we're working on with Andromeda Adventures. We need the holodeck episode of like, we're in the 1920s as Star Trek characters, and we have to solve some moral quandary. Thank you.
Star Trek, or is that like
There's
In every Star Trek.
Yeah, there's time travel in every Star Trek and even the movies. They literally have the temporal division or whatever that like one of the funny episodes of Deep Space Nine is it was for an anniversary or something, and it was they inserted them into the old famous. They took the actors and inserted them into the old famous Trouble with Tribbles episode with Shatner and everybody, and they laid them over in that episode and made them interact with the old actors and stuff. And it was a marvel of engineering at the time.
Yeah.
And like the story was being told by Sisko in his office with the temporal agents there like questioning him, and they're just so tired. And they're just like, you assholes in Starfleet are always fucking with the timeline. And it happens a decent amount. So 30th anniversary Trek Trials and Tribulations, which is amazing. So why don't I know who Jim Toon is? Who is Jim? Is Jim Toon James?
Yes.
Okay, I thought Jim. Okay, I was right. It was James. Hi, James. Say what?
Nutmeg is James.
Wait, Nutmeg is James?
It's backwards.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I think I was told that last time, too. You know what? The DM's gonna walk the fuck off. I'm gonna go give myself a drink. Preferably alcoholic.
Then DMing is stressful.
You can't have
James
that
says
unput.
hi.
Say what?
James says hi.
I'm off camera. I'm off screen. I'm off mic.
Yeah, do you guys want to recommend any more modifications we can make to the ship to delay our trek any further? You know, I mean, this voyage is...
The tricky part, yes, Spark, that you need to argue is it's fine to build on the ship. Just build up and out. You just, if you build one, you have to build two because you have to keep the ship balanced.
Aren't there like floating cities and stuff? You know, like isn't that a thing? Flames on the side. Flames on the side is a really good suggestion. Like the inner Futurama kid in me, very much.
Yeah.
What logic are you using that? I'm 10.
Actually, it would be awesome, like a permanent minor illusion, so it was actually flames whipping down the side of the boat.
All right. There goes all my spell slots.
Oh, you're giving them ideas. I don't know if I like that.
It's alright. I mean, Sonny's been like a little bit poo-poo on all of Kree's ideas, but it's also like, you know, when you get to deep enough water, I could probably consecrate this ship.
Hey,
What?
Frosty, what do you think? He says a really busty figurehead. What about a really busty figurehead with a big full beard?
I like it. Busty figurehead, full beard, a dwarven, perhaps. Yeah.
The matron of the Groves of Moria.
Yes, exactly.
No pirate flag. No, we're gonna get killed.
So you haven't been on a one shot or something with Frosty yet.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I've ranted to you in our like behind the scenes where we've been working on the Star Trek stream and other stuff about you to Frosty specifically, about your ridiculous amount of voices and how you put me to shame every time because your voices are some of the fucking best that I've ever heard.
You just need to have no shame and put no thought into what you're doing. And that's
See,
Everyone else here has anxiety.
James
I
has the
have
horn one?
horrible, crippling anxiety.
Well, see, James, that's a good question, and they're about to find out the answer next time they go to the ship.
She's a scientist, not an English major.
I was wondering if anybody would think about that.
We are actually called the Dragonfly.
I mean, that works out for Sonic.
Yep.
It's Gaelic, okay? It's Gaelic.
It's Gaelic. Oh dear. But yeah, so I hadn't got a chance to actually talk to you guys because we haven't had an in-person stream for a little bit. But a lot of cast of Andromeda Adventures, specifically Indara, is going to come out for RageCon. So we're going to live 3-4 of them out here, and we will be having them on an episode of PDT as a guest, or I might try and do something like Run Bards Out of Hell, or another one-shot kind of thing with them. So there is no downside there. Yeah, no, I'm incredibly excited for it, just because I've only ever played with them online, and they are fucking fucking amazing, and I love them all, and I want to play with them in person. And you know, the different dynamic of sitting around a table, they get to come visit the studio and everything. Prismatic Dragon. Prismatic Dragon Flee. I love it.
Don't get her ideas.
I like that prismatic is spelled.
It's
so
canon.
The
Right.
rest just falls off.
Well, that's a scientific term, so.
Yeah. You know, dragonflies aren't.
I'm good with Dagon.
No, like I said, Dragonfly sounds like a misspelling. It's like Sonic. I'm not actually
Yeah.
fine with this one.
It's like we put tentacles instead of flames because it made more sense. Don't you start with me. I will come all the way over there.
Did you have tiramisu?
I did not.
What the?
What? All right, I'm coming over. We're gonna set this.
Our production manager is currently fronting with one of our cast members.
As you do.
You know, age-wise, I'm like 4. You just think about that before you pick a fight. You're outnumbered.
Also, it's just me, but I still fucking love the bit of Free will not keep their own money and just gives their money to Sani.
But I'm still irresponsible with it.
Yes, you still do terrible things with it.
One day we're gonna get to like a magic shop where there's like 20,000 gold chess pieces and stuff. Where you can be like, oh, that's why you save the money.
Exactly. This is why you save it. I get it now.
Look, there's going to be that, and there's going to be somebody who gets entirely the wrong idea because Sony's paying for something expensive for them.
But like, let's be real. If we had 5,000 gold, we could buy ourselves all houses, a farm, a staff for the farm, and just do that forever.
Or
Rest
some
of
of your
the game
own
is
side.
We just retired a clock game. That's the rest of the game.
We get there and it's just like everything's cool there. We're like, oh, okay, I guess that's it.
Dragonfly.
Also, I'm just fucking dying about everyone cracking up over, reminiscing about the time Fade outed Sony having a Fey girlfriend to a crowd of strangers.
Yeah, they kind of let you get away, or at least Kree let you get away with that. Kree didn't push too hard about. Please explain what the fuck the gnome meant about that. So maybe a story for when you're at sea and you start getting bored. Which sounds like for poor Kree is going to be pretty damn fast.
Fable 3 is just buy all the business. Fable 3 also had the mechanic of the money would accrue when your game was off, so they literally were just like, look, just buy everything. If you're going the moral route, it is the only. I'm still hurt by Fable 3.
I feel like a Fey girlfriend sounds like some kind of euphemism.
Why were you hurt by Fable 3?
Ah.
Oh, because I did all the good choices, and then I had no money, and my kingdom was destroyed, and it just felt a little bit like.
I mean,
told me this
yeah,
was gonna
that's
happen, but
that is understandable. Yeah, like girlfriend who lives in Canada. Fake. I mean, that girlfriend might as well live in Canada now because they lost her. I mean, she vanished. Her entire shop vanished overnight, never to be seen again, possibly. Just like your dad.
I was gonna yell, "She ran away!" like that was a defense, but like that's not good.
She ran away from us.
Again, my point continues to be proven.
Yep. Well, we will be back in just a minute. Almost done with our break.
So,
I was just saying in general we're almost done with our break, but yeah.
Now's a chance for random questions.
Random questions. Nick is probably not here because Nick said he was going to watch, but I haven't got a weird question yet, like a Nick question, so I don't think Nick is watching. So I think I'm safe from those at least. What? What are you gasping about?
I buy an admiral uniform.
You buy an admiral uniform?
Yes, if we can off camera
What is-
just say that Free buys an admiral.
But what does an admiral uniform
Like a
look
navy
like?
blue heavy wool coat with like the.
So
yellow
it's what
tassels.
Kree thinks an admiral.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
It belongs on a stage.
Okay,
I
so
want
it's
to look like an old timey pirate.
oh my god, great. Yeah.
And you have to be
Yes,
a
I know.
Commodore, but the rest of your ships are elsewhere.
Mhm. That makes yep. No, that
You
fits
are
up.
tired to find you white whale.
Jesus Christ. And a beard, Captain Crunch.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I'll cut the top of your mouth, I will.
Yo, what?
Captain Crunch.
All of you calm down with the innuendo.
No, ruin your mouth. Crunch berries.
Uh-huh.
That's more innuendo.
Yeah. You can't escape it.
No, peanut butter crunch tears up your mouth. Like,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't know,
And there's no
you
innuendo
weak
there.
fucking mouth people. I've never had a cereal destroy my mouth.
Well,
but-
do you let it get soggy first? Or do you
No.
immediately? Yeah, well, no, then I can.
No, but I chew with my teeth. not
Yeah,
my-
thank you. I use my teeth.
Soft palate.
I don't gum it.
Yeah, I inhale cereal. That's definitely a problem.
My one of my best friends, Paula, she PaulaPixels.com, not sponsored, but you should go check her out. Paula, she shocks me to this day, me and her husband, how she eats cereal, because she has, the way she does it is 2 bowls. She has a bowl of cereal and a bowl of milk, and she does a scoop of the cereal and dips it in the milk and then eats it. And we think she's insane, but for her last birthday this year, I got her these bowls I found on Amazon that are split bowls, so she could do it in one bowl and have like milk and cereal. She's like, these are amazing, and we're like, you're weird, but we love you. So
if you're gonna eat a ton of cereal, you need the right tool.
you do. All right, you can take us off the break screen. We're all sat back down at the table. We're talking about silly stuff, and we can go ahead and get back into tonight's episode, second half of tonight's episode of PLT. She is crazy. She also doesn't like cinnamon. She hates cinnamon.
What?
Yeah, no, despise it. I feel like almost everyone in my life fucking hates cinnamon because,
I
like,
cinnamon.
so many people in my life. You're one of them, aren't you?
I love cinnamon.
Okay. I was like, Elliot hates cinnamon. Kelly hates cinnamon. Like, a lot of people
It's just
in my
your
life.
household.
Yeah, my household, apparently. Lots of people hate it. Oh, and there's a link to palacepixels.com. So, all right. So let's go ahead and hop into tonight's episode, second half of the episodes. But yes, please check out palacepixels.com. She makes some amazing geeky apparel that you can see on the website. She has partnered with a lot of interesting people like Cantrip Candles, awesome people like Cantrip Candles. And she was even interviewed by Matthew Mercer and Mika Burton at one point on Critter Connect, Critter Connection, Critter Hug. So check her out. Her stuff's awesome. You actually... She said go live, you all heard it. God, I shouldn't have said go live. You'll see a lot of us actually, shut up, Joe. You'll see a lot of us actually wearing stuff from Palace Pixels on the stream. We've worn a ton of her stuff on the stream, so... Anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump back into tonight's episode, the second half of it. Thank you for sticking around during the break. Thank you for asking us some questions and just being big silly old nerds with us as we talked about voice acting and all sorts of different things. And we'll go ahead and pick up as you all walk into Kovita's office. She is, doing the same thing that she always does when you're in this room typically. It seems like she can't escape it most of the time when she's out of your sight, and she is hunched over the desk working on an inordinate amount of paperwork, and it is very fancy paper, and she has a comically large quill in her hand, and she must be doing something more on the official side, which is why her face is showing the level of anger that it is at a piece of paper right now. But as you walk in, she glances up, and the furrowed brow dissipates, and she tosses the quill unceremoniously on her desk, and she kind of opens... Do you do that?
Oh yeah, like down on one knee, like super low bow.
What is Kree doing?
I'm not sure, but
Groveling.
we wanted to be sure to come in and provide that one last interruption to say goodbye that we promised.
Well, yeah. I was just very confused. I thought I was missing some kind of a prompt or something. All ready to head out then?
Yes, we're going to start prepping the ship soon.
Mikhail told me that you requested some more ale and whiskey.
I have a feeling we're probably going to need a bit more.
I mean, I'm not going to judge, so I'm glad that you actually took advantage of our offer and got some more supplies for your long journey. So, you sure there's nothing else we can do before you leave?
You've been a fantastic host.
Thank you. I've tried, and as I said, the city is still in your debt and will be in your debt for years to come. To the point where, I've almost forgotten the whole trick you tried to play on me originally.
No idea what you're talking about.
He's
Sure, no idea. Anyway, please wave goodbye. Say goodbye to as many as you can on the way out. I know the guards are going to miss your presence. They got quite used to having you all around. The diplomatic quarters are still your quarters, those ones that you've claimed over your time here, so anytime that you return, please use them. Hopefully, once the Thunderpad is operational, you return at some point to say hi to us. But otherwise, I wish you all the smoothest seas possible, and that the ship carries you safely and quickly to Quandir. I assume it's going to be a pretty quiet maiden voyage, but especially because you all need a quiet time after what you've been through. But
one would hope, yes.
The ship has a name now.
really, I'm impressed. What's the name of the ship?
Dragon.
I mean, I like it. It's simple. It's not over the top like I was expecting. Is one of you a fan of dragonflies or something?
Cass.
And Bander too. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a wonderful name, so yeah. Wonderful name for a fine ship, and hopefully it has, I don't know, do dragonflies go fast? Speed of a dragonfly, perhaps.
They can be.
Well, hopefully the name does you well. And she pushes back from the desk and stands up and walks over, and she makes a beeline for Kree. And she incoming.
Just steps aside.
she walks over, very stone-faced like this old lady typically is, or at least you know that she is quite often in public. And she walks over and throws her arms around you and gives you a bone-crushing hug, which lines up with what you saw when you caught her arm wrestling out at the bar last night, but again, surprises you how strong she is and puts that whole fun duel she had with Matilda into perspective of how she held her own against the Eladrin.
This just in. I'm gonna miss you very much.
I'm going to miss you too. You make me smile even though I wouldn't admit it as much. And she goes around and gives everybody else a hug as well, and just seems genuinely sad that you're leaving after this time. And you know, it's only been a handful of weeks, but many of you remember the first time that you met her on the doorstep of her house after trying to impersonate someone from a local newspaper, and then, you know, the Hague and everything else that you've been through with Kovita, and it's been quite a long time for all of you. But she ends up giving everybody a hug and then offers to kind of escort you out of the keep, unless you had anything else that you wanted to accomplish.
No, Sonya just promises that she will return at some point, so...
Okay. Well, Kovita's going to walk all of you out, and she'll take you down the large, round, swooping staircases that spill off to each side. She takes you down the right side like you'd normally use to get to her office, and you walk past the dining hall that you've shared many a meal at, and you notice quickly, without having to make a perception roll for it or anything, that the entire keep is now empty. And it's really weird to notice that, because the entire thing is dead silent, and your footsteps, for the first time, echo in the cobblestone former palace walls as you walk through here. And Kovita is walking at a pretty crisp pace to stay ahead of you. And as you all eventually walk outside into the now quiet courtyard, free of troublesome diplomats, I mean, he doesn't count because exiled and everything, but
Not here in any official capacity.
yeah, it's not here in any official capacity. But when you walk out of the guards' keep and you stand on the top of the cobblestone kind of patio veranda that's out there that leads down the massive steps into the courtyard that you've walked up and down so many times at your stay here in Orishire, you see all the guard have turned out in a formal delegation, and they have lined both sides of the stairs. They're not wearing like their formal gear or anything. They're all in their normal gear. Some of them are even in just plain clothes because they obviously weren't suited up to go out or anything, but everybody is standing at a crisp attention, and many of them have a smile on their face, but they line the stairs down into the courtyard and all the way out to the ship, it looks like. And Kovita just kind of smirks to herself and keeps walking, and you notice that as you walk, every one of the guards salutes you as you walk through the procession.
the two little guards that I like totally thoroughly traumatized. at some
Yes, yes.
I was
They're
like-
there.
point, whose names I never learned.
Nope, you didn't, and that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay because that was part of the lesson. I'm going to give them a hug on the way out.
They look petrified as you approach them, and like as you hug the first one, goes slightly pale, but then realizes it's a friendly gesture, and both of them kind of break attention to give you a hug, and Kovita like glares at them a little bit, but doesn't say anything. So
The two are gonna do great.
I hope so. She's really intense.
Right, but you survived her at the worst.
That's a good
And-
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're fine.
Okay. All right. So you guys keep walking out, and as you get close to the back of the keep where the old arch leads to the dock, that's about where the guards peter out because that's just how many are here right now. But as you reach the end of the long, formal line saluting all of you, they break into a loud, uproarious applause, and all break at the same time, and you just hear a ton of hooting, hollering, and clapping and cheering, and they are very just trying to show their appreciation as much as they can as you guys walk out. So, and you walk on out onto the old rickety docks behind the guards' keep, to the sound of applause and so many different shouts of encouragement from the multitude of guards that have been with you for your time here. Some that you fought alongside with, and many that have just come to hear of your exploits in the keep. Did Vander get teary-eyed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Vander is past teary-eyed.
He's crying.
Full on, just the 6. Wait, how tall again? Why did I say 6? He's not 6. Yeah,
He's 8 feet.
8 feet. The 8-foot tall Furblog, just gently sobbing as he's overwhelmed with happy emotions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I know how Geo must have felt. How do you walk away from all this?
Just have things we need to do elsewhere for a while, you know? We don't have to stay away.
We found a home.
Put a hand on Vander's shoulder.
Can you reach Vander's shoulder?
Yeah, I don't.
I think I put a hand on
Well, yeah, maybe if you do like that.
Bicep.
Yeah, bicep kind of thing. Yeah, it's like don't know if you could do that, but you try to reach up, and yeah. All right, so as you walk down the little gravel-coated path past the guards' gardens, you see your ship come back into view, and it is now adorned with a beautiful name on the side. It is apparently Erie has a hand for calligraphy because the name is large. It's not overly large. It's definitely a statement piece. It doesn't look out of place. It does have an unnatural kind of shimmer to it, and even if you stop for a second, the shimmer like dances playfully back and forth. So obviously, whatever she did is enchanted to some extent. It's probably like a the face.
DRAGON
It's
LY.
it's prismatic diagon flea, like was put in chat. So it's prismatic DIAGONNFLEYE. But it looks beautiful. It's spaced appropriately, and there's a bright pink dragonfly at the tip of the word that is fluttering and flapping on its own.
So we never told her the word prismatic.
Or sorry, it's you didn't say the word prismatic, so but it's the diagon flea.
Oh, I think it was prismatic. Okay.
No, it's shimmering, which so technically I guess you could go with that, but it's shimmering because of the enchanted ink that she said she was going to use, the glister dust, the glimmer dust. But yeah, so you guys see the name on the side of the ship. You can see Erie's bright pink hair on just peeking up over the edge of the ship above the name, and she's standing there talking to Skalea, who's on board, and Skalea is wearing a very common set of clothing that would, if you happen to pass her in the streets of Orishire, she would look very much like a commoner. Just kind of a white cream shirt with a brown kind of corset and vest on it, and a pair of black pants and some knee-high brown boots. Looks like a commoner right now, but otherwise, it's Skalea, and the two seem to be having a very animated conversation as you all round the corner, and Skalea instantly sees you all in the distance and just kind of waves and then keeps talking to Erie. And Kovita walks you all to the gangplank before she stops and puts her hands on the hips and kind of rocks back and forth on her feet, on her heels, and looks at all of you and... Well, I suppose this is goodbye for now.
For now.
Well, as I said, be safe, please. Don't wreck it on the way out of the bay, please. I take it you're not letting Kree drive.
No,
Absolutely not.
I will be taking care.
No disrespect. It's just if you have Sonny, let Sonny do it.
I wouldn't trust me to drive either.
I wouldn't trust myself to drive one. I hate ships, so... Thunderpad for me, almost always.
Absolutely. Fist bump.
Tap. She's very confused, but she gives you a fist bump. She has a gauntlet on, because she's still in her armor, so she goes tink against your hand. Well, safe travels, and please let me know if you need anything. If you have the spare magic, I would not be opposed to a sending spell to know that you reach Quantir safely. But I'm sure you'll be very busy. But
Keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And just remember, global marketing for the plushies. They should... We need a brand.
oh, the ones they made. Well, funny story. The diplomats actually, I saw them buying a lot of your hero plushies that people were selling in town. It seemed like Heta was a very popular one. I assume they were buying it for gifts for their children, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see yourselves popping up around the world. So, sad thing you don't make any money off it, but
Well, it's going to be interesting to find out.
it is going to be. Well, you should get on your way. I need to get back to my men and my reports for the council, but it's been wonderful knowing you all.
Seas watch over you.
Thank you. And she turns around, slowly, lazily walks back up the hill as she takes a deep breath and kind of just enjoys the sights as she heads back to the keep. And you guys are left with the ship.
Okay.
At the bottom of the gangplank, but yeah.
And he didn't get taken out by Aaron.
Yeah.
Yay! So we need to take off soon. So
Yeah,
that doesn't.
Sonny's already getting the amulet. And she's like, okay, two of you, the ropes there and there, untie those, please.
What about payment? I heard that,
Yes, how much
money was no object? Was the advertisement that was being said? So I didn't know what that mean, but I assumed it would be fun either way. Oh, did you like it?
It's very eye-catching.
That's how you... What? That's how you spell it.
You've got us on a very good day. It's wonderful.
Here's 50 gold pieces.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very kind.
And we're about to leave, so unless you want to go with us, you might.
No, I do not. It's been great seeing you again. Thank you so much for the gold, and I'll see you in the future. And she
with you.
runs off down the gangplank, and Skalea just kind of watches with a... What did she write on the ship?
Degon Flea.
Degon Flea?
It's kind of in like a fancy script that, if you squint, it kind of looks right.
Dragonfly.
I mean, I'd just say play it off as something intentional then, like some exotic word or something like that.
Is that maybe dragonfly in Gnomish?
I don't know.
It could be. I don't speak Gnomish, but yet maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Let's untie the ropes
don't know.
before Aaron catches up.
What?
Wait, I know Gnomish. Is that dragonfly in Gnomish?
It is Dragonfly in Gnomish.
Ah, okay.
Guys, it's Gnomish. It's fine. We're just
cute.
multicultural.
What was that about, Aaron?
He's very adamant about you not coming.
Yeah, but I took care of it. I assumed Did you think he was gonna come stop me or something?
Asari said that Aaron wanted to talk to me.
It's just him being an overprotective fuck, and I don't blame him because of shit that's happened in our lives, but I told him what was that?
We're being raided.
We're being raided? Who are we being raided by?
Darling Creep Show.
Oh, hi guys! Hello, Darling Creep Show. Welcome to Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We're a weekly D&D 5th edition TTRPG stream, and we're part of Mythical Family, a group based out of Reno, Nevada. And we specialize, or our entire goal is to create inclusive, diverse space for gamers of all kinds. So welcome and thanks for the raid. We're in the second half of our weekly episode of Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern right now, and yeah, really nice to see you guys. Thank you for the raid.
Weird.
Yeah, let's get weird. I mean, we're already weird, but
Yeah, that fits.
all right. So,
Gotta hydrate.
We got to hydrate? Was it Anomaly or was it somebody else?
Someone else.
Somebody else. Oh, I don't have a drink. I don't have to drink. I can be a thirsty bisexual. Say what?
Jen.
I pretend to drink.
There's
It
no
does not
D
work.
behind
I mean,
the
that's
face.
half of D&D right there.
Yes, yes. So you guys are trying to set out quickly then, it sounds like, as you're explaining this to Skalea. So did you already pull the gangplank up?
Yeah.
Okay, gangplank's been pulled up. You guys are undoing the rope. Skalea's standing there kind of talking during all this. I'm pretty sure Aaron's not going to try and make a scene, or at least I hope so. Otherwise, I'd kick his ass. So, did you expect otherwise?
Yeah, well, we thought best just to be sure, you know?
I mean, that's fine, but I'm their boss, and I have the diplomatic authority to take a different mode of transport when I'm going to a diplomatic mission. So if Aaron has an issue, if Aaron still has an issue with it, he can kick rocks. I love him. Don't get me wrong. I love the man, but he can kick rocks. Now, how can I help?
Alright, well, I'm putting the amulet in, so it's like, alright, ropes are up. I think we need to adjust some of the trim on the sails if you want to go around really quickly, make sure everything's good.
Sure, I'm perfectly at home doing that. And she kind of nods and she runs over to, you only have the one mast, but there is a pretty complicated, standard, but complicated rigging setup for it. And she kicks her boots off, and you see her kind of scurry up the mast in a way that surprises all of you, because she said she was familiar with ships, but she seems like she's really sailed before.
Oh, yeah, she knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing. She shoots up the mast and just starts popping the ropes and letting the sails unfurl one by one. And within a few minutes, all of the sails on the prismatic dragon, or the dragonfly, not the prismatic, the dragonfly, which we will just say in its common version, even though it's in gnomish on the side. I think high gnomish actually probably is what that would be. So, I mean, but all the sails unfurl. Sani takes the medallion gifted to you by the council and slots it into the steering wheel and gives it a quick turn. The steering wheel unlocks with a faint whoosh that only you really hear, and the amulet glows ever so softly, and you're able to steer the ship and take her out of the bay.
Perfect. I don't think I've ever had a ship quite this size, but Sonny definitely knows about boats, so...
Sonny does know about boats, and you find that as you take the Dragonfly out of the Bay of Orishire for the first time ever, that it answers every single movement of that wheel more responsibly than any ship that you have ever been on, to the point where it feels disconcerting at first, where the slightest little movements of that thing seem to be moving the ship perfectly in sync, and you don't notice a lot of delay between the movement of the wheel and the ship, which is very off-putting for you because it's not what you're used to.
There's some sort of powerful engine in here.
The sails catch wind, fill, and you quickly begin to pick up speed as, thankfully, the Guard's Keep is off to one side of the giant, busy Crescent Bay of Orishire, so you're pretty much able to beeline out without having to deal with much traffic or anything, but it quickly picks up speed, and you are out of the Bay of Orishire, and soon it's fading away into the distance. Do you know where you're going, Sadi?
Yeah, she's been looking at the chart, so she knows to Quandir that any more specific than that, she wanted to talk to Skalea first, since there's going to be some time before having to pick a port.
Okay. Well, you guys have officially set out, and I have faith that Sani is going in the right direction with her nautical history and reviewing the charts and everything. We will be... The journey, of course, isn't going to be something that we're going to completely role play out over the sessions, just so you guys can get to your next destination in combat and all sorts of fun things. But there will be some stuff happening on the ship, and I don't want to rush anybody through anything. And one of those things, of course, is the very classic weather and encounter dice. So who wants to roll a percentile dice to start your journey off? All right. I like how quick that was.
If this rolls poorly, this is your fault.
How is it my fault? You're the player that chose to roll it. It is your fault.
Because these are your dice.
Oh, I did make that set of dice. Yes, I did make that set of dice. So
That is a 21.
a 21. Clear sunny skies with no wind.
Good thing the ship makes its own.
It does. Yeah, thankfully you have this ship designed for the Orishire Council by the Shipmasters of Orishire, and even though you quickly notice the wind fades away and the sea gets pretty still a couple miles out of the bay, the sails stay full, and you hear that very faint kind of musical trill and thrumming sound that seems to hover in the air around the mast, and as promised, the ship continues on. And the speed builds, and the speed builds, and the speed builds. And eventually, about 30 minutes or so in the journey, you're all sure that you're probably going at the same clip of Sykes' vessel, or somewhere around there. Sykes is probably faster, but you are moving at a pretty decent pace at this point. Thankfully, the water's still, so it's not really choppy. It's smooth as butter right now, at least. So, Kree, yeah, I'm looking at you. You're not having any tummy issues yet, but...
No, just looking at my map.
Yep. And Skalea
would be so jealous of this boat.
Skalea stayed up in the mast and the rigging for quite a while as you guys came out, but eventually she dropped back down to deck. So, right as you're kind of hitting your peak speed. So, is there anything that you guys are going to do with your very first day on the Dragonfly? The rest of the day on the Dragonfly as you head out to sea.
Sonny, do you need me to take the wheel while you commune with the ship or the ocean or anything?
I don't think we're quite deep enough for me to try anything just yet, but this is nice.
Well, let us know when you need us to like tie a rope to the deck so you can like throw yourself off the side of the ship.
If it comes up, I will let you know. Yes.
Okay. But gosh, this is a gorgeous day. I'm thinking about the wildlife we're gonna see out here.
None of you have any magical buffs on right now, right?
Not at the moment.
That's an
My
obvious
armor
question.
does something.
Say
I've
what?
never learned what my armor does.
You haven't identified that yet?
No!
Oh
You know,
my
somebody could
God.
do that, and you haven't asked her once.
Oh dear.
I was waiting for the surprise. Yeah, so maybe.
Maybe. No, that's fine. That's fine. I was just double checking. Vander doesn't have passive any sort of Vander doesn't have like True Sight or like a passive buff, right? That I can remember? I don't think so. So I was just checking. Yes, it is an ominous question from the DM, but there's a reason for it, and it's not ominous. But just double checking. So Sonny, are you going to be communing with the ocean or doing something?
Once she's confident that somebody else can, mind the helm for a little while.
All right.
So
Cass, have you ever taken the helm of a ship before?
No. But
Well,
there's always a time to learn.
there is always a time to learn, for sure. And as Sonny hands off the helm to you, you immediately find the same thing as her, that the ship is oddly, creepily, in a way, responsive to any movements of the wheel due to the special set of enchantments that have been placed on it. So you need to make a check to see how you initially handle the Dragonfly on the ocean. This check can be a dexterity check or an intelligence check, your choice.
They are equally.
Well, then you just pick one. Whatever one feels lucky to you right now, Cass. Caps, how dare you?
And I'll do intelligence. Which is a 17.
17, not bad. So yeah, you all feel the ship tweak and twerk and move a little bit as she takes over, but it's very small disturbances, and you all kind of already have enough of sea legs to just go with it, and you quickly understand the responsiveness of this thing and how you can literally keep one hand on it and it just goes. So you actually would probably find it somewhat relieving that you don't have to sit there and struggle with it. So not too hard to take control of once you get some practice with it.
You
So.
see what I mean? Because it turns very easily.
Yeah. Though, I mean, ships don't normally do that.
No, normally there's a lot of kind of a delay. All the mechanisms have to actually work the rudder.
Oh, yeah, no, that would make sense. Well, I mean,
And,
Easy
the
to
ships are heavy, so when you do things, it takes a little while for them to catch up with you. You kind of have to plan in advance.
thankfully I'm quite strong. Wink.
And thankfully, we are in nice, calm waters, too.
Yeah, that does help.
All right. So you're going to go commune. Anybody else doing anything?
I'll show sick to her room.
All right. Yeah, she'd spent a while up in the mass, especially as the speed started to build, and really seemed interested in just enjoying the whole experience. But yeah, she thumps down back to the deck and picks her boots up and slings them over her shoulder, and you can go ahead and take her down and show her the rest of the ship, because she hasn't seen it yet. So, and what room are you taking her to? I assume you're taking her to the spare room, but I have to ask.
He'll offer, so he'll say everyone's rooms and say there's one spare room, but you can choose a spare room or you can share one with me.
And she'll be like, she seems like again, you forget for a moment possibly that she is who she is because of the childlike sort of curiosity she displays as you walk downstairs, as she's standing there in common clothes with her boots over her shoulder. And she just kind of, her hair is destroyed now because of the wind. And she just kind of with curiosity and a bright smile, pokes her head into all the rooms as you show them, because like nobody seems like they close their doors anyway. And she just seems very enchanted by the ship and kind of distracted as you show her around. And then she looks back and pauses. And actually, you know what? Considering I've somehow not managed to roll a dice tonight, especially, I mean, this happens in roleplay heavy episodes sometimes. There's nothing wrong with it, but I want to roll a dice for something really quickly. Nice. So, as those words kind of sink in with Scalea, she pauses with that, the very happy, joyous demeanor, looks up at you and freezes and her face goes bright red. What? Nothing. So the room's open, though? They don't mind if I take it or anything? I brought very small amount of luggage and stuff like that, so...
I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I haven't had my own room on a ship before. I think that would be nice.
Okay. He looks a little bummed.
You got a bit. You got some time.
Sonny just popped down.
Sonny's dating advice. She is bright red. Like, even Vander would notice this. Like, she is cherry fucking red for a pale elf. And she just kind of nods and quickly, like, pops into the spare room off to the side. And you can hear her, like, poking around inside. And you don't really know what she's doing because she doesn't have luggage with her, which is probably upstairs. So she's making noise to make noise. Make an intelligence check. You poor Flurblog.
Oh, he's not that stupid right now.
He finally caught on.
He's got a 15.
Okay, that's not bad. As you stand there in the hallway and hear her just kind of like move a chair and like tap something on the wall and be like, you get the idea that she is insanely embarrassed right now. Not in a bad way, but the sharing a room prospect. The blush on her face matched last night when you had the arm on the brick wall over her and she was making the same face at you with the same blush. And you kind of connect the dots a little bit on how flustered she was and how flustered she is.
Imagine a light bulb above his head.
A candle. A picture of a candle.
Open the door.
Say what?
He's gonna open the door.
The door didn't close. She just felt like she went around a door in like on the inside, and she's like very awkwardly like trying to like make it sound like she's doing something inside.
He'll go in there and look and like peer behind the door.
You see her like she put the boots on the floor, and she's leaning up against the wall, and she like has a hand raised like she was gonna tap it again, and she looks up at you and like shock, and then puts her hand out and goes, "Hi, what's up?"
It's okay. If you do want to share a room,
I know.
I can get your luggage if you want.
You think you see her sweating. Like her brow is starting to sweat slightly as you make a almost 200-plus-year-old elf sweat in nervousness. I mean, are you sure you wouldn't mind somebody else, like, taking up your space and everything and stuff?
And he'll lean down and give her a kiss on the cheek.
Kill this poor woman.
No one else I would rather share a room with.
The charm. Ah.
I think he needs to make a charisma check for that to really see.
Say what?
I think he has to make
Yes, you know what? I like that idea. Let's see it, Loverboy. What did you do? What did you do? Oh! So you got a 1.
Yeah.
You got a nat 1 on
A
your
0.
charisma. You got a 0. Yeah, the -1. You got a 0 on your charisma check. Oh. So tell me, Vander, because you still do exactly what you said you do. But what does a 0 mean to you in that situation?
That his also embarrassment is also very, very visible.
Very visible. Okay.
Very, very visible. He is also a tomato.
Yeah. Okay. As much as a furblog can be a tomato, but All right. So you lean down and you give her the kiss on the cheek as she is bright red, not acting like the very experienced worldly person that she is. And you do kiss her cheek, but you also don't really account for a brief bump that the boat takes, and you slam her into the wall. Unceremoniously, not in that way, but you just kind of crash into her as the ship bounces ever so slightly. And even up on the deck, you'll all hear a big thud below as a 9-foot tall, 8-foot tall furblog kind of crumples to the deck below. You probably won't really, notice it too much, but you do hear a weird sound as like Cass kind of hits a bit of a bump in the sea, which is, not a big deal or anything, but maybe it was the sound of the ship hitting that.
Creek, did you check and make sure nothing came loose down there?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to make sure I'm on the ship.
So you ended up like cracking her head a little bit. She's fine, but you're both like in a heap on the floor, and she's like, and you're also slightly dizzy from that because you took the brunt of it hitting the wall of the room. And yeah, you walk down and hear some like sounds from that room.
Did you guys notice anything? Is the ship okay?
We're on the floor.
Oh my god, we're okay. Oh my god.
We're fine. I think there was some waves or something.
Oh, boy. Okay.
What does that have to do with waves?
Balance. Alright, so you're
In-
fine.
If I'm in combat, I have balance. What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing at all. That was completely rude of me. I'm so sorry. I would never say anything like that to a lady. And Vanna, you look very good too. Actually, I'm gonna go back upstairs.
She waits until she hears the footsteps completely recede, at least up onto the deck, and she starts howling with laughter. You have a propensity for ending up in situations like this, don't you?
I guess so.
I've known you a short while now, and this is like, what, the 4th, the 5th time something like this has happened? So I'm assuming it's something that's happened a lot through your life, then, you big oaf.
Various degrees. But
You didn't realize last night how flirty you were being, did you?
I was flirty.
And I'm
Yes.
Cass is just like,
Treetop.
This is the first time I actually tried.
I hope
People
it's...
not date in Treetop? What's going on? 'Cause both of you are really bad.
this is arranged marriage.
No, you did a good job, obviously, if that isn't clear, because I'm here, but like, Kay, it's been driving me nuts. The arm thing, when you were looking for the entrance to the shop, did you not realize that that's a move that people do?
That's a move?
Yes, you put your arm up on the wall next to them and lean over and talk to them. It's usually like, have you read romance novels by chance? You haven't, have you?
Describe the picture like how they are on the floor right now. Can you do that?
Oh, yes, of course.
This help-
So she was leaning against the wall as Vander came in and talked to her and gave her the kiss, and then they both slammed and went down. So she had the benefit of at least sliding down the wall for the most part. So she's kind of sitting cross-legged now because she's had time to adjust against the wall. And then Vander is just all 8 feet of Vander sprawled out kind of in a crescent moon, like almost around her.
Okay.
So on his side.
Okay, this helps me. And so her back is to the wall.
Her back is to the wall, yes.
So he'll sit up and get cross-legged too. Sort of, well, not necessarily cross-legged, but like on his knees, like.
Is it one of like
Sit.
the meditation positions that he has done before? Because
Sorta.
you've described them before, but
Yeah, sort of. Sort of like his hands in his lap. And he's thinking.
Mhm. Oh, on the knees, hands in the lap.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
So like this, and he'll put his hand on the wall and lean towards her.
Good God.
Yeah.
I can save this.
I can save this. So 8 foot tall. Yeah, most of Vander's in his legs anyway. So yeah, you're much more equal in height to her at this, but you still tower over her even in this position. But yes, you put your hand on the wall and lean over, and she immediately recedes into the wall, or tries to. She can't really go anywhere, and she blushes, not as much as before, but she blushes and then just starts like nervously laughing and goes, "Yeah, like that. That's a thing you do when you're flirting with people, and you did that, but you were looking for the entrance to the shop, and then I fell and everything. But you didn't do this on purpose. You just kind of lucked into it, didn't you?"
I'm doing it on purpose right now.
Okay. I like it. I'll, if you don't mind, yeah, we can share the. Would just fucking kiss me.
Oh, okay.
All right. And she is going to kiss the Furblog. Well, she is incredibly fucking flustered, but at least if she's kissing, she's not getting looked at. So she very happily kisses Vander, and yes, she will be staying in Vander's cabin. And she just had a couple bags up on the deck that were kind of tucked to the entryway where the gantry is and stuff like that you can get whatever you want.
He'll help her up, get up himself, and then he'll get her stuff and take it to his room.
Okay. She generously accepts the hand up kind of thing. Roll a perception check.
I don't know how good that is.
7.
7? Roll an intelligence check on top of that, because I want to see how Vander might interpret certain things. If it's another fucking 1?
6. My dice don't like me today.
So you pull her up, and she weighs nothing for you, kind of thing. And you pull, especially because she's not in armor. But you pull her up. Not only is she blushing, but for some reason she's shaking, and you don't know why. But her hand is shaking when you pick her up, and you don't really think anything of it as you go to get the bags.
Even I don't know what that would mean. What does that mean?
We'll talk after stream. Anyway. Yeah, you can go upstairs and find her bags, and you find the knapsack that she had with her all the way back when you met her in Vinzor. That seems like it has her armor in it, very neatly packed, and the rapier is kind of stuck through the top of it and twisted, and it's sheathed and like locked. So it's her armor and weapon. And then there's just another one that also feels like it has clothes in it as well. So you walk over and you go to pick him up. Make a strength check.
Oh boy, I love
Hitting you with all the checks right at the end of the episode.
better at this. 13.
13? So you reach down and you grab the knapsack that you're very familiar with the armor and kind of just pick it up. And you reach down and grab the other one and you go... And it won't lift.
Oh, dang.
So it seems heavy, but like you're tugging it and there's a little bit of give, but the sack with the clothes isn't really moving for some reason.
Let's try again.
Make another strength check.
2 arms.
Stalea is
Apparently. Oh, this is a better check. 30-20.
30-20? Okay. Yeah, so it even with that, you have to like focus for a moment and be like, what the fuck is going on? But you're a pretty strong Furblog, very trained, very physical monk, and you eventually rip it up, and it comes away with such force, like you look down at the deck and you're like, was it stuck on a nail? Like, what the hell was holding it down? Because now that it's in your hand, it weighs next to nothing. It literally is clothes and maybe a couple books and writing utensils or other personal effects, but like, it in the bag doesn't look suspicious, but it was being held down suspiciously. And now it's free, so you have them.
I'll take it down.
Okay, so you take it down and deposit them in your room. And you don't know where she is, but she's probably still standing back there, right, Red? In the meantime, what has everybody else been doing?
I think now that Cass has the ship, Sonny is up at the bow and is knelt down and kind of laid her tome out in front of her.
Yeah.
And it's just done the usual, okay, I've got my knife. Like, cut her palm and then kind of pressing her bloody hand into the wood, just kind of both. I'm going to bless the ship and also try to commune and bring my god's attention to us.
All right. So you're doing like the generic kind of ritual. I don't mean that in a bad way,
Yeah.
but the generic ritual that she's done before, like
Yeah,
the
just trying to
base
reach out
ritual is
to
a
our
better word.
patrons.
Okay. So make an Arcana check for me, please. Because you cut your hand, you started the ritual that you've done hundreds of times, but you planted it on the boards of the ship.
Mhm.
Okay.
18.
18. So as you go through the motions, you don't even feel the bite of the blade as you've done this so many times in this ritualistic setting. You push it to the deck of the ship, and almost immediately you feel a searing sort of alcoholic pain in your hand. Like if you put your hand, alcohol burning, if you put your hand into alcohol, and you feel sort of spider web tendrils of pain shoot through your hand and your arm, and in the moment that it happens, you're not afraid. You know that it's not like the spell's not being rebounded, you're not being attacked. It hurts, it's unexpected, but in that moment you realize that your blessing, your attempt to commune, probably at least is going to interact on some very basic level with all the enchantments on the ship, as opposed to the wooden boards of a normal ship that isn't enchanted kind of thing. But you spend a moment, and you can fight through it, and the ship isn't trying to hurt you or anything like that, but in that moment you kind of realize the beauty and the majesty of the spell work that was put into this thing. And maybe there's even more to the ship than you know, because every single plank in this thing feels like it's enchanted. It's not like they put an enchantment on the mast and the wheel and called it a day. The ship's spelled board by board for something. But it's easy enough for you just to push past it after the initial burst of pain and be like, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna continue on and think about that later kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely like, oh, well, that's fascinating. I'm in the middle of something, so I'm going to double back to this.
Exactly, yeah. All right, so you are attempting to bless the ship and reach out to your gods, right?
Basically, just call their attention to us.
So tell me what blessing the ship means to Sonny, and like kind of what the thought process is behind it, how she's done it before. Like, what do you mean by bless the ship?
It's basically just like, mechanically, I don't think it's really doing anything. This is very much a religious ritual for her.
No, of course, yeah.
So it's really just making sure that her patrons, like, no, this ship is, I've anointed it with my blood. It is part of me, kind of deal. So that they can recognize it and, like, know this is her vessel.
Okay. And then in the same vein, because you got your hand. I'm horrible. I'm so horrible. What are you specifically doing with reaching out to your gods? Because you haven't talked to them clearly in a while, and there's probably a lot you could say. So, like, what is the intent, message, etc. behind that?
Mostly just reaching out to them. Kind of a supplication for being out of contact for so long, because she's been so distracted for weeks.
Okay.
And just, kind of, acknowledging that she's returning to what her actual tasks are.
All right. So you push past the searing pain. You're able to keep your eyes closed and lose yourself in the moment, and you feel your magic pass through the ship in a way that is very familiar to you, though you haven't really blessed a ship in a long time, but it still brings back memories of being back at home. And as you push past that and your magic reaches out to the waters that are churning around the newly christened dragonfly, you feel the so familiar call back from the deep as you reach out to your gods, and it's the first time that you've truly felt connected to them for some time, especially after you were strangely cut off by that artifact back in Vesnor. And for a moment, you're not on the ship. You're just moving across the water by yourself, and you feel your gods welcoming you back, not only to them in general, but the sea. And in that moment, you feel the wildlife in the sea around the ship, and it feels like there's almost swarms of it following the dragonfly under the surface that maybe they've sent along with you. And you feel that sense of grounding and calm that you often get from the ocean that you haven't felt in a while, especially since Matilda's vanish overnight. And it doesn't replace the pain of her sudden whatever happened to her sudden disappearance, but at least in that moment you can breathe again, and you feel some of that. I'm okay. I'm my core of my identity is still here, and I'm okay. and then they just leave you with that feeling. You know, they're not much for words, they're not much for direct images most of the time, but you feel that safety and the sea welcoming you back as you reach out.
And she's just like visibly like decompressing to anybody else that's on the deck and happens to like keep watching after she's bleeding again.
Yeah.
Does this mean we don't have to throw you off deck?
That's what we needed.
All right. Well, the dragonfly sails off into the literal sunset as the sun is going down and you're heading towards it because that's the direction of Quandir. You're making incredible time, or so it feels like. The seas are still calm. You have a lot of fun wildlife that is following you if you ever look over the side. And you all get to settle in for your very first night, possibly one of many, on your ship, at least for this journey, and who knows in the future. And I think that's where we're going to call it just a little bit early tonight because it fits ever so well. And we will be picking up next week towards the end of the voyage. But this gives me some really good time to quickly say to all of you, please spend the next week definitely thinking about what you want to accomplish on the ship, because we will role play a lot of it next time. There's a chance for, you know, encounters and different things to happen, but you all have some very specific goals and you want to get to Quandir, and I want to get you there. But think about what your characters are doing in that time, different interactions they might have, goals they want to accomplish, even if it's a personal internal goal like worship or something like that. And we will pick up next Sunday, 7 p.m. PST there. So any other last minute things you want to sneak in with your characters or anything else on the first night on the Dragonfly? No? All right. When you guys eventually that evening, after one of you prepares dinner, you do easily clock the fact that the empty room is still empty and it looks like Skalea is staying with Vander. So we'll
Lightly elbows cast.
We'll be tasteful about it.
and that can come up more next time and stuff too. But what you notice for that evening is that Sick doesn't really talk for the whole evening and is bright red the whole fucking time. But we'll call it there for the night. Thank you so much to everybody for rating us and coming by and sticking around. I don't really get to look at chat when I DM, but I saw lots of people still in there. I saw lots of messages and stuff. Again, we're Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We're a weekly D&D 5th edition actual play stream in my world of Akora, homebrew world. We are part of a Mythical Family, and Mythical Family is an awesome local group here in Reno. This is our studio, and we do a lot of different projects. D&D just happening to be one of them. So if you kind of like the people that you saw tonight and how we're dorky and diverse and all those awesome things, check our social media out, and especially hop on our Discord and come over and say hi to us. If you're in the Northern Nevada area or semi nearby or don't mind traveling, again, there is going to be a massive gaming convention out here in Reno, Nevada, June 30th to July 2nd, called RageCon. You can check it out at ragecon.com. It's a yearly massive board game TTRPG convention, and we already have a lot of community members that we're friends with traveling out for it. We're going to be running games. They might run games. We sign up for people's games. You can just, it's a great time. So if that kind of thing sounds, it's up your alley and you want to make the travel, you're in the area, come check it out. And then you could play in a game run by one of us, probably a board game or something like that. Because you're running board games, aren't you?
And it's booked.
It's booked? Already, you're completely booked.
But
Get your tickets now.
for my one page, one shot, I think there's still openings, so you could play.
Yeah, the way that RageCon works is once you get a ticket, you get access to the e-ticket, like the e-sign-up platform, and there are literally hundreds of people that are running games, and you can sign up for a Pathfinder one-shot, you can sign up for Star Wars Outer Rim, you can sign up for things you've never heard of, like one-shot, RPGs that are very small and indie that are super fun to play, and board games that are probably out of print and stuff like that. So if you get the chance, RageCon is a truly like one-of-a-kind thing, and I really like it. So if you get the chance, check it out. And check us out on our social medias and Discord. And if you liked what you saw tonight and you want to see more of these amazing adventurers stumble their way through romance and, world-ending catastrophes and other things that you're supposed to be dealing with instead of just flirting with everybody, Vander.
I flirted with one person.
All of those one people that you have tried to unintentionally. Well, no, you tried to flirt with, but you know what I mean. But anyway, have a great night. Thank you guys so much for hanging around. If you can hang out a few more minutes, please do, because we really like to, pass the love on just like you guys did to us. And we're gonna raid somebody here. Don't know who we're raiding yet, but we're gonna raid. So stick around for a few minutes just so you can carry over to that raid. Give them some love. Maybe you discover another favorite new streamer of yours by hanging out for a few minutes. But we're gonna go ahead and hop off. It was great meeting all you, and hope to see some of you on the Discord. In the meantime, have a great week, and we'll see you later. Bye.